it's always good to be home, and for Pudge Rodriguez, Alan Trammell, and the rest of the Tigers, a return from the West finished on a positive note with a pair of wins in Texas. And tonight from Comerica Park, it's the Tigers and the Athletics. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Comerica Park. Welcome to the first in a three-game set between the Tigers and the A's. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for Tigers baseball tonight. It was a road trip that really started in bumpy fashion for the Tigers. The Angels swept them 3 in a row. The Tigers come back, however, take 2 out of 3 against Texas, Rod, in a series that best could be described as roller coaster without question.
Absolutely, Mario, but they really did show what they were made out of after getting whooped up on in Anaheim by that very good Anaheim Angels ball club, high-octane offense. You didn't know what to expect going into Texas, but these guys stepped up, and they stepped up in a big way. It started on Friday night. This is a pretty close game until Pudge Rodriguez homers the opposite way against a guy he had no success against throughout his career. But that's the way this team is playing with tremendous amount of confidence from an offensive standpoint. And then Bobby Higginson hits his first home run of the year. Bobby's starting to heat up, swing the bat a little bit better. Anytime you go up against a team like Texas that plays the way that they play, and that inning, of course, that 5th inning on Saturday, you didn't know which team was going to show up on Sunday, but they played a very good game. They showed what they were made out of, and I think Alan Trammell feels pretty good about his team the first month of the first week in May as to how the season's gone so far.
Well, 2 out of 3 against Texas, a team that had lost only 1 series all season long. This is a Tigers team that can get back up to the 500 mark with a win here tonight against the Oakland Athletics. So the A's in Texas coming to town for this homestand. It'll be a tough task for the Tigers tonight. Barry Zito is on the hill for the A's. Jason Johnson for the Tigers. Jason, what's coming up?
Tiger baseball next.
Welcome back to Comerica Park as the Tigers get set to start a 6-game homestand. The Tigers and the Oakland Athletics for 3, then the Texas Rangers will come to town for 3, and Jason Johnson getting set to make another start for the Tigers, hopefully a little bit better than his last couple of starts. We'll check out the starting lineup for the Athletics. It includes Jermaine Dye, who's done pretty well this year, but lifetime against the Tigers only .243. Mark Kotsay leads it off in center field. Eric Burns is in left. Eric Chavez will play third. A middle 3 of Dye in right. Durazo, the DH. Hatteberg is at first base. And a bottom 3 of Miller, the catcher. McLemore at second. And Crosby is the shortstop. Pepsi pitching report tonight on Jason Johnson.
Not a Zito curve, and we'll get into that a little bit more in the bottom half of this inning. Of course, Zito pitching for the A's. He has an outstanding curveball, but Jason Johnson has a very good one in his own right. Streaking the wrong way. Very impressive in the opener against Toronto, but he has lost 5 straight decisions, and he's giving up too many long balls. He's given up 4 home runs in his last 2 starts, and for him to be successful against this very good offensive Oakland team, he must keep the ball down and he must change speeds.
Well, we'll check out the defensive alignment for the Tigers tonight. Pudge back behind the plate, and what a season he has had defensively. On the infield, Inge at third, Guillen the shortstop. On the right side, Vigna at second. Norton gets the start at first tonight with White, Sanchez, and Monroe in the outfield, left, center, and right. And Pudge and Johnson, the battery defense brought to you tonight by Rico. Here are the numbers this year on Jason Johnson.
Not a whole lot of strikeouts, nor giving up too many hits this year, but the earned run average is very, very high, and the 1-5 record is not where you'd like to be if you're Jason Johnson. But he can pitch much better than that, that's for sure. We saw that opening day against Toronto when he went up against the reigning Cy Young Award winner, Roy Halladay.
Yeah, boy, did we. And he had his best stuff of the year in that start on opening day, April 5th in Toronto. Ready for baseball tonight as Mark Kotsay leads it off. And looks at a fastball high. Tonight's ball game is underway. It is 70 degrees here at Comerica Park. And absolutely picture-perfect weather here. Kotsay, Burns, and Chavez facing Johnson. A wave and a miss by Kotsay, who comes in batting .257.
It's an outstanding pitch right there by Johnson after falling behind to come back with a changeup and a fastball count. And the fool, a very good hitter in Kotsay. That's a pretty impressive pitch.
1 ball and 2 strikes now on Kotsay, who has been a pretty good leadoff man for the A's this year, batting .318 from the leadoff slot. He was acquired in a big deal the A's pulled off last November. That is hit hard into right field and a base hit. So a leadoff single for Mark Kotsay. The A's gave up a really fine catcher in Ramon Hernandez in the offseason to get him, along with Terrence Long, an outfielder. But Kotsay has served well in that leadoff slot.
You know, this is a different kind of Oakland team. In the years past, they really worked on wearing down the starting pitching. Plate discipline was emphasized. As we get a look at Ken Maka, who is their manager, but they've got a new cast of characters here, and a lot of these guys did not come up in the Oakland organization, so they don't have that same philosophy. They've got some free swingers now.
Strike called on Eric Burns, the Oakland left fielder. Normally the philosophy centers around on-base percentage, taking your walks, but that is not how this team has shaped up this year. They are toward the lower half in on-base percentage in the American League, which is kind of odd to see with an Oakland ball club.
They play for the big inning. They don't believe in bunting. They do not hit and run often.
Burns has been a spark plug of sorts for them. Had a good season last year, batting .294 this year. A high energy guy. And has a reputation as a very hard worker. Will not be outworked by anyone. And some good numbers against the Tigers to boot. Each team coming in tonight, one game under the 500 mark in their respective divisions. That's on the ground to the third baseman. Inge fires his second one. Relay in time, the double play. 5-4-3. And just like that, two gone and nobody on.
Brandon Inge continues to impress me with his multiple position playing this year for the Tigers. The guy came into this season as a catcher only, but he's played center field, third base, and he's handled them very, very well.
What has impressed me on the infield, Rod, is the quick release that he has, especially at third base. He started that double play immediately. And with Burns running down the line, they needed to get it going quickly. Here is Eric Chavez now with 2 outs. Johnson starts him off with a strike. Chavez, as you see at 242, has been much more of a second half hitter. Last year he certainly was. Hit over 300 post All-Star break. 1 ball and 1 strike. Former first-round pick of the Athletics, Eric Chavez, has turned himself into one of the fine third basemen in the American League. That's in there, a strike. 1 and 2 now on Chavez.
A nice little curveball right there.
And it has gotten Johnson ahead in the count. Jason's 1-2 pitch. Another breaking ball. This one misses low. 2-2.
Eric would have been one of the premier free agents on the market this offseason, but he elected to sign a lengthy contract for a lot of money that's going to keep him in an Oakland uniform for a long, long time.
That is rifled foul. Well, he is one of their stars that has not gotten away in recent years. You spoke of Tejada leaving, and of course Jason Giambi is gone. 2 guys that were a very big part of their organization, and Ken Maka has had to pretty much look at a different starting 9 this year, but they're able to keep one of their cornerstones in Eric Chavez. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Chavez.
You know, really that speaks volumes as to how they feel about Eric in the organization. Billy Beane allowed Giambi to leave.
On the ground of the second baseman, right there is Vigna. And that will take care of the side. So a couple of big ground balls for Jason Johnson. So far, so good. Barry Zito coming to the hill. Well, a good start for Jason Johnson, getting a big double play ball. As we go to the bottom of the first, we'll check out the Tigers starting lineup. It is brought to you tonight by Gardner White Furniture, including Carlos Guillen, who had himself a pretty good road trip, hit .455 on the recent road swing. Sanchez leads it off in center, followed by Vigna at second. Pudge will hit third and catch. White is in left, Guillen at short. Monroe is in right tonight. Higginson is your designated hitter. Norton at first base, and Brandon Inge batting 9th and playing third. In our pitching report for the Athletics tonight, it's left-hander Barry Zito.
He's got one of the best curveballs in the game of baseball, whether it be from a right-hander or a left-hander. Of course, he is left-handed. Anytime you see the right-hander's knees buckle from a left-handed pitcher, it's special. Continuing to work on a changeup is Barry Zito.
And his uncle Bobby was Patrick Duffy, who played Bobby Ewing on Dallas.
I used to watch that show every day. Don't ask me
It came
why.
on once a week.
Well, in reruns is what I'm talking about. You see, you thought you got me there. Sanchez lays down a bunt right side, fielded by the first baseman, but too late. Zito tries to cover, and the toss from Hatteberg is tardy.
You know, Hatteberg is not a first baseman by trade. Ron Washington, who is the infield instructor, has worked long and hard with Hatteberg in the past, but this is just a very, very difficult play to work on. I mean, as a second baseman, you want to try to come get this ball or at least get over to the bag. There's no way that Zito is going to beat Sanchez there. He couldn't have rolled that ball from his hand out there any perfectly than that.
That is the 23rd bunt that Sanchez has put in play already this year, tops in the American League, and we'll check out his infield hits as well. This is updated now.
You can get a good jump off of Barry Zito. He does not have a good move, but he does throw to first base quite often.
Fernando Vino looks at a ball down low.
Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to get a sacrifice bunt down, get Sanchez down in the scoring position, score that very first run of the game. The team that scores first wins 65% of the time in the big league. It's amazing.
Well, and it also really changes the look and the feel of any inning when you get that leadoff man on, especially a guy like Sanchez who has the speed, and especially with a guy like Vina who can handle the bat. Sanchez 5 steals this year, measuring his lead. And there he goes. Throw down to second. The tag not in time. He overslid the bag and still safe is Sanchez. McLemore thought he got him.
Pretty good throw here by Damian Miller. He's a good catch and throw guy. This throw's right on the bag, but Sanchez just outruns it because he has such great speed. A lot of times he's moving so fast when he hits the ground, he slides right past the bag. Ooh, that's a close call.
That's a really close call.
Tigers will take it.
Dan Iasonia said he was safe. Very little argument, but steal number 6. McLemore didn't like the call. Now Vina with a chance to drive in a run here. Zito missing inside and high. 3 balls and no strikes on Vina.
Zito off to a very, very difficult start this year. Comes in with a 2-3 record and an earned run average over 6. But it's early.
It was very early. There is ball 4, and Vina gets the base on ball. So a good start for the Tigers. Let's see if they can take advantage now. Here are the rest of the numbers on Barry Zito.
He still has the 29 strikeouts, which is outstanding in the 35 innings, but the earned run average has to be a little bit of a problem for the Oakland Athletics. But anytime you've got a Mulder, a Zito, and a Hudson to go with a Redmond and a Harden, you don't worry too much early in the season because you know these 5 guys can really pitch, and they can rattle off 18 of 20 at any point in time.
Well, Ken Maka has to feel good about knowing that every 3 days he'll send out a guy that will give you usually a pretty good chance to win, and their rotation is very, very deep. The addition as well of Rich Harden and Mark Redmond. Here is Pudge, and he takes a pitch down the middle, 0-1.
Second tour of duty for Ken Maka as the manager of the Oakland Athletics. We get a look at Pudge's numbers. Whew. Outstanding numbers for the catcher.
He has not done much wrong this year. Good block at home plate by Miller. 1 ball and 1 strike on Pudge.
It was good to get back to Texas and see just how adored Pudge Rodriguez was in that city by all the fans that had a chance to watch him in his 11-year career there. And he didn't disappoint him either.
Well, and you would imagine that Pudge going back to Texas might have taken an opportunity to stay with some friends or relatives there if he had any in Texas, but he stayed with the Tigers at the team hotel and still wants to make sure that he is very much a part of this team day in and day out.
He did tell me that he went to his favorite restaurants while he was in Texas. I'm sure most guys do that when they get back to a city where they have spent some time. They tend to go to the favorite restaurants that they have.
Pudge second with men in scoring position, and that's an impressive statistic. 467. Zito bluffing back to second base. So an early scoring opportunity for the Tigers. That's popped up, sailing back toward the seats, and back out of play as Hatterberg gives chase.
Kind of surprising, and of course I don't know for a fact that was a hit and run, but it appeared to be a hit and run. Sanchez did not get a good jump from second base, nor did Vigna. And when you've got base stealers out there and they don't get a good jump, usually that means the hit and run was put on.
1-2 on Pudge. Swung out and missed. He chased that fastball out of the strike zone. 1 away.
This fastball's only at 88 miles an hour, but after getting a steady diet of off speed and breaking balls, it looked like it was a lot harder, and very seldom will you see Pudge go out of the strike zone and swing at a pitch like that.
That's the first out of the inning as Rodriguez is retired, and now Rondell White. You know, that's something that Zito loves to do. He loves to change the batter's idea of what a strike is, and by that we mean he'll throw that big breaking ball that starts at your eyes and then drops into the strike zone for a strike, and then he'll come right back with a fastball eye level, and the batter thinks it's a strike, and they will chase. And that's exactly what Pudge did there. There go the runners. Snap throw down to third, not in time. Sanchez in safely at third base, and Vigna moves to second.
And Zito's a guy, as we told you, does not have a great move to first, nor does he have a great move back to second base. And Sanchez really takes his time here. He doesn't give away the fact that he's going to try to steal. He takes off from a standstill position, which is something that you do not teach. And he's able to get in there sliding safely. Almost a bad throw, and Eric Chavez trying to deke Sanchez into thinking that ball was in the outfield.
Well, now a deep enough fly ball puts the Tigers on the board.
Or a ground ball.
And there's the bouncer deep in the hole. Crosby on the backhand has no play, and a run will score. Sanchez is in, and the Tigers take the early lead.
That's good base running, too, by Vigna on second base. He knew on the ground that Sanchez could score easily, but he held his ground at second base, because had he gone to third base, Crosby, the way that he fielded that ball, the shortstop would have been able to throw him out.
Well, if you're into stats, how about this one? The Tigers are 9-4 this year when they score first. Gets back to that stat you were talking about, Rod. That's 69%.
I was close.
Very close.
You just had to one-up me, though.
Yes, I did.
You just couldn't let me leave 65 out there.
That's what I'm all about, one-upping you.
You know?
Here's Guillen. He takes a rip at the first pitch fastball from Zito. What a year it's been for Carlos Guillen. 321 now. He had a great road trip.
He's been the talk of the league. Everywhere we go, and every team that comes in here to Comerica Park, they want to talk about Carlos Guillen.
4-game hitting streak for Guillen. Swung on and hit well into center field. On the run is Kotze, still going back. He'll make the play. Vigna will tag from second and go to third. Here comes the throw, the tag, and he is out at third base.
He's not running very well right now. He never should have tried to go back and tag up.
And so that'll take Zito out of the inning. But the Tigers get a run after 1-0 Detroit. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Pepsi. It's the Cola. Aflac, ask about it at work. And by Gardner White Furniture. We're known by the money you keep. Well, Alex Sanchez manufacturing a run for the Tigers. A couple of stolen bases after a bunt single, and just like that, the Tigers grab a 1-0 lead for Jason Johnson, who takes the hill now in the second. Dye, Durazo, and Hatterberg to face the right-hander Johnson. Jason picked up a couple of ground balls in that first inning. One of them a very key double play off the bat of Eric Burns.
And Jermaine Dye is off to a pretty good start this year for the Oakland Athletics after not really playing well last year, hitting 170 in limited playing time.
1 ball, 1 strike. Dye, they say, spent the offseason working out with Eric Chavez. They had a personal trainer and worked out together, and supposedly he reported to spring training this year in his best shape. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, you have to believe that a guy that's had some success at this level, and Jermaine has had plenty of that after playing so poorly last year. And, of course, he had the injury that broke his leg a couple of years ago. Why wouldn't you come to spring training in the best possible shape that you could be in? He's the early favorite right now for comeback player of the year in the American League.
Well, he has the talent. Ken Maka has said we don't need an MVP type season out of him, just to get back where he was. Johnson dips the inside corner with a good hard fastball, 3-2.
I like that pitch right there. So many times at this level, 3-1, guys don't challenge big hitters inside with a fastball, but he went right in there with a fastball. And he's going to come right back with another one. This one's going to be on the outside part of the plate.
And it's swung on and drilled in the air deep. Left field. Back to the wall is White, and it's gone. A home run. He challenged him, and Jermaine Dye was ready for it. Home run number 8 for Jermaine Dye.
You know, Pudge called for the outside fastball. Let's see where this ball ends up at. There you see it on the outside part of the plate, but he's able to reach out there and hook it back to the pull field. He's got those long arms.
And so Jermaine Dye very quickly ties this one up for the A's. That'll bring up Rubio Durazo. Down the middle it comes, a strike on Durazo, who has been their hottest hitter, a 10-game hitting streak in progress right now.
We talked about it in the open. One of the things that Jason needed to improve on was the fact that he'd given up a bunch of home runs in his last 5 starts.
That's on the ground to the second baseman. Vina on the charge. 1 away. Well, Jason now has surrendered 8 this year, and that is a team high in the home run category. One away now for Scott Hatteberg.
This is the guy that they've got to get on track, though, Mario, talking about Jason. I mean, you talk about Maroff, and, of course, Robertson was spectacular the other day, and Bonderman's held his own.
That's drilled in the air deep into right center field. This ball is hit well. Sanchez on the run. Won't get it. 1 hop off the wall in right center. Hatteberg on his way to second. He'll pull in with a double.
You know, we told you earlier that this is not the same type of Oakland Athletics team that they put on the field the last 3 years. They've won a lot of ball games, but they're getting it done a different way when they do get it done. They're swinging at a lot of first pitches, whereas in years past, they would take that very first pitch, whether it was strike or ball, because they were preaching plate discipline.
Well, that plate discipline has not been as evident this year, but they picked up a home run and a double in this half inning, and now Damian Miller. A's with a chance to take their first lead of the game.
You know, but just to finish that thought, Jason needs to be the guy to step up and take the bull by the horns and to be that legitimate ace that they signed him to be.
Well, there's no question he has not been the pitcher we saw in Toronto on opening day, but of course the blister had a lot to do with that. Breaking ball grounded deep in the hole. It's short. Guillen has it. Long throw. Got him. What a play by Carlos Guillen. Man, oh man, he did it again.
You know, he's got terrific range, whether he's going up the middle or he's going the other way. Did you see that quick cat-like first step? And he grabs the ball and in one motion reaches down, gets it in the bare hand, and flips it back the other way over his shoulder.
I don't know how that wasn't a base hit.
You know, Ron Washington, who's the third base coach, was talking about the fact that when it became very apparent that Oakland was going to lose Miguel Tejada, Carlos Guillen was one of the guys that he sort of threw at management's way.
Here's a strike on McLemore.
And, of course, McLemore and Carlos Guillen were teammates in Seattle the last 3 years.
McLemore coming off of knee surgery, just activated today. They sent Frank Menachino down. And McLemore has been around a long, long time. How about 18 seasons in the big leagues? This guy has played in both leagues. He's played just about every position.
He came up as a second baseman, and a very good second baseman in the Angels organization years ago. But he has really turned himself into a terrific platoon player, playing everywhere, as you mentioned.
Well, when he came up in the Angels system, and he had mentioned, I came up really at a good time with a good organization because they had a lot of good veterans on that Angels team. Guys like Don Baylor and Reggie Jackson went on and on. Those Angels teams in the mid-'80s. And they had a big influence on Mark and how to play the game. And he's made a pretty good living for a long time in the big leagues. That's into the air to center field. Sanchez on the move, still going back. On the run, he will track this one down. And that will take care of the side. Not before the A's tie it up. Johnson gives up the run. It's a 1-1 ball game. 1-1 ball game as we go to the bottom of the second, and Carlos Guillen's defense saved what could have been possibly a big inning for the Oakland Athletics on a dandy of a play up the middle. The A's tied up, however, on the home run by Jermaine Dye, and there's Craig Monroe to lead off the second. Swinging on the first pitch, and he skies one in the air to shallow left. The shortstop Crosby is back to make the play. One pitch, one away.
And Craig Monroe's got a different look tonight, Mario. He's got the pants up very, very high.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to switch it up. Although he had a decent couple of games against Texas, close out that road trip.
It's not a bad look on him.
No, I think it's a good look on it.
You know, some people just can't wear the pants up high. Some just don't look good in the uniform that way.
He looks good. I think he ought to keep him that way. It's Bobby Higginson.
And Barry Zito can wear his uniform any way he wants to. He's won a Cy Young.
He's written his ticket already. Higginson has hit safely in 3 in a row. Had a couple of home runs in that series in Texas. And finally got on the home run board.
Quietly, Bobby is having a decent season. He's got 24 RBIs already.
And I think he likes it that way. Quietly having a good season. Left that one up in the strike zone. Higginson chased it, popped it into shallow right.
Well, the Tigers do not want to get into a pattern of swinging at the elevated fastball that Zito likes to feature. Zito's a guy's fastball is right around 88 to 91. But when you throw it up around the letters, it makes it look like it's a lot quicker, and it's a very, very difficult pitch for most hitters to get on top of, especially left-handed hitters. Most left-handed hitters are low ball hitters.
2 outs now for Greg Norton, batting in the 8th slot and getting a chance to play again tonight, courtesy of a big game on Sunday to help the Tigers win. 1 ball and no strikes. By the way, if you want to email the booth tonight, very simple. Go to foxsports.com. Keyword Tigers booth. Since we're talking about wearing socks up high, who would not look good with his socks that high? How about that for a question tonight? See, Zito is wearing them. Greg Norton is wearing them. Shortstop Crosby has them up high. Who do you think wouldn't look good in the high socks? Email us tonight. Straight back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Greg Norton.
I read something where is that home run that Norton hit from the right side the other day was his first home run in the big leagues from the right side.
Well, actually, speaking of big socks, by the way, there's Brandon Inge. He's been wearing them like that all season long.
He's got nice calves, though, so he can do it.
I'm glad you noticed that. Norton caught looking. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers after 2 at Comerica. 1-1 game. Third on the way now. The Tigers and the A's 1-1. Our game reset in the first inning. Tigers got a run. In the bottom of the first, as Alex Sanchez reached on a bunt single, stole second base against Barry Zito. And then later in the inning, Sanchez stole third, put himself in a scoring position for Rondell White, whose infield single scored Sanchez, and that's how the Tigers got themselves on the board. So Alex already mixing it up tonight. Here is Bobby Crosby to lead things off in the top of the third. The rookie shortstop takes inside 1-0.
That's the one thing that never goes into slumps in this game, and that is speed.
Sanchez has a ton of it. Crosby is a big kid. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, and his idol growing up was Cal Ripken, who was also another tall shortstop.
Crosby has some huge shoes to fill with Miguel Tejada leaving, going to Baltimore, and him coming up playing in his first year in the big league.
Well, that has to be a ton of pressure on this young man, and there's no question about that. Not only what Tejada did offensively, but the fact that he played almost 600 consecutive games, did Tejada at short. He was a fixture in Oakland. There's a strike called on the inside part of the plate. 2-2 on Crosby.
You know, the one thing that the Athletics have continued to preach to the youngster Crosby is the fact that you're not going to replace Tejada. Just go out and do the best that you can.
Johnson missing with a breaking ball. Top of the order waiting on deck, Mark Kotsay. Tigers led 1-0. A's tied it up on the Jermaine Dye home run in the second. Down the middle it comes, drilled in the air, deep into left. Rondell White back to the wall, and that ball is gone. Second home run of the ball game allowed by Johnson, and Bobby Crosby hits his fourth.
You know, Johnson has plenty good enough stuff to succeed on any given night, but his location has not been good. Early in the count, I mean, busted Crosby on the inside part of the plate with some good fastballs. He couldn't get to it. He comes back with another fastball, and this ball's just right down the middle. I mean, you can't throw these balls right down the middle at 92 that's straight and expect these guys to miss them. If he hits either corner with that ball, he gets a strikeout.
Yeah, they have been straight as an arrow, no question about that. And now Dye and Crosby each had long balls in this one as the A's take their first lead of the game. Kotsay skies this one deep in the air to left. White will have room for this one, and that is out number 1. So Johnson has given up leadoff home runs in each of the last 2 innings now. Alan Trammell knows that he needs Jason to pitch a little bit more like he did opening day against the Blue Jays in order for his team to have success. Burns looks at a breaking ball that drops in. 0-1. Burns, a guy that came in hitting .412 lifetime against the Tigers. Another breaking ball, this one missing outside. It was Burns that bounced into that big double play back in the first inning. Tigers have had a couple of key defensive plays early on in this one. And again, that's left up in the strike zone and hammered to left, but Rondell White will run this one down. So the A's are hitting the ball hard early in this one. Well, it certainly has been a tale of 2 different seasons, hasn't it, Rod, in the first 7 starts last year and this year for Jason.
And it's something that he'll need to correct, as we talked about the fact that he is the ace of this staff, and they very much need him to go out and pitch well. He hadn't pitched that poorly. They'd love to see some more wins in that W column.
Eric Chavez takes a strike.
A wonderful gesture by Chavez earlier this year in Oakland. He received his 3rd consecutive Gold Glove. And he presented the Gold Glove to his third base coach, Ron Washington, who has been working with him every day since coming to the big leagues. Ron told me today that when he went into the clubhouse and he saw the Gold Glove in his locker, he thought someone was playing a trick on him, a prank, so to speak. And then he saw a letter handwritten by Chavez talking about how much Washington has helped him over his career, and he wanted him to have the Gold Glove. Washington said it brought tears to his eyes.
Well, I imagine it would. He also said that was the classiest thing anybody has ever done for me. That'll drop in, a base hit in front of Craig Monroe in right field, so Chavez gets a 2-out single.
We saw a similar story like that earlier this year in Minnesota with Torrey Hunter and Jerry White, the first base coach, former Tigers coach, who also was given a Gold Glove from Torrey Hunter. It's the ultimate respect, though, and it's really the ultimate compliment.
It is, and Ron Washington said, you know what, you deserved it because you did all the work inside the lines. And Chavez said, no, it was your guidance that got me to this point, and really really was a classy thing to do. Here's Jermaine Dye now with 2 outs. 0-1 on Dye. He's hit in 4 straight now, courtesy of that solo shot in the second.
And Johnson's been elevating a lot of his pitches here in the early going, and one thing he must do against this team, because they can still swing the sticks very well, you've got to get the ball down in the strike zone.
They still can swing the sticks. You're absolutely right. However, this is not a team that has hit well as a club so far this year. Last time up, Dye made no mistake. That ball was on a tee for Jermaine Dye.
That's the one thing missing in the game of baseball today, is the fact that a lot of pitchers just do not pitch inside enough. That ball's on the outside corner, but it looked like it was right down the middle to Dye because there's no fear of the pitcher coming inside.
It seems to be the case in all of baseball these days, isn't it?
I mean, you look at the highlights at night, and very seldom do you see a good inside fastball get hit very hard. They usually play pitches that are out over the plate.
He got the outside corner. Dye is caught looking to retire the side. Not before the A's take the lead. Jason Johnson strikes out Jermaine Dye to close out the 3rd inning. Well, Jason Johnson has given up a couple of home run balls tonight. That has been the difference. And Bobby Crosby, with the leadoff home run in the top of this inning, has put the A's on top. And now Barry Zito back to work, facing the Tigers' number 9 hitter, Brandon Inge. Inge is playing 3rd base tonight and still batting over the 300 mark at a solid 303. This has been without question an interesting year for Brandon. He's gotten off to such a great start offensively. He has played 2nd base a couple of times, 3rd base rather, a couple of times. He's played in left, he's played in center, and he has caught 5 games. So he's been all over the place. But his offense has not suffered because of that. In fact, it has improved.
Well, the reason why he's getting a chance to play all those different positions that you talked about is the fact that his offensive production is up this year.
Yeah, that's been coming your way, Rod.
And you know where I'm going underneath the table, too.
I saw you jump out of that chair.
Yes. I'm going right underneath.
Did you have reflexes like that when you played?
Yep. Get up and get underneath.
That was cat quick. In the air toward left. Late jump for Burns. He'll try and make up for it, and does with his speed for out number 1. Well, coming up after our game, it's the Detroit Sports Report. And on tap tonight, the WHA comes to Detroit. Ken Holland, meanwhile, tries to keep the Wings on top. And a special Pistons playoff edition after the Pistons game. DSR right after the game, right here on Fox Sports Net. One out now for the Tigers in the 3rd. Top of the order, Alex Sanchez due up, and it's a little conversation between Hatteberg and Zito on how they want to play Sanchez defensively here. After Alex dropped down a bunt single against those 2 in the 1st inning.
Well, what they're talking about is exactly what they're going to try to do if he does try to do it again. If you're McLemore, you've got to go straight here to get to the base. Uh-oh, what happened? There it is.
Get an arrow malfunction. Your dots are working.
Yeah.
But the arrows aren't.
A little malfunction there.
Tap right back to the mound. Zito will make the play.
No, but really the only way that you defend that play is that if you're the second baseman, you've got to go straight to the bag. And if you're the pitcher, you've got to go straight to the bag, and the first baseman has to go and get the ball. Really, that's the only way you can defend that bunt from Sanchez. If everybody goes for the ball, then no one's going to get to the base, and that's what a lot of teams tend to do in their natural reactions to get there, because most guys don't have that same kind of speed.
Well, 2 away now, and here is Fernando Vina. Zito walked him in that 1st inning. He did not score. Here's the big hook in for a strike. 0-1. Vina on the back end of that double steal, so he was credited with a stolen base. Fastball hit in the air toward left. Burns on the run, has room. And the Tigers go quickly and quietly in the third. A 1-2-3 inning for Barry Zito, and we've played 3 at Comerica. Barry Zito and the A's lead the Tigers tonight 2-1 as we go to the top of the 4th inning here at Comerica Park. Aflac. Here is our Aflac trivia question tonight with Cy Young as our backdrop. 100 years ago today, Cy Young's 23 consecutive no-hit innings ended. Who did he start, or who did he start that streak against? Was it Philadelphia? Was it Detroit? Was it St. Louis? A, B, or C? Those are your choices. It's a good night for the kids at the ballpark. 70 degrees at game time and cotton candy and baseball. Beat that.
The kid gonna be bouncing off the walls tonight. All that sugar.
Probably. Mom and Dad will be up all night as well. Johnson missing to Rubio Durazo. Durazo a 10-game hitting streak right now. He's over 1 tonight. Johnson keeping the fastball down that time. 1 ball, 1 strike, and we have seen that he has been up in the zone, and a couple of times he's been hurt by it tonight.
And he really needs to keep the ball down to Durazo, because Durazo can be a very dangerous hitter when he gets a pitch up in the strike zone, something he's looking for.
The breaking ball, 1-2.
Durazo came from the Arizona Diamondbacks a couple of years ago, and Billy Beane had tried to get Durazo from the Diamondbacks for about 4 years. And Joe Garagiola Jr., the general manager in Arizona, just refused to trade him. Finally, he gave Billy Beane his wishes last year.
Well, he has been a guy that has been willing to take his walks throughout his career, and last year was a good example of why Billy Beane wanted this guy. 100 walks last year, and only Giambi and Delgado walked more in the American League than Durazo.
Yeah, he fits the profile of the type of hitter that Billy Beane feels like has a lot of success at this level.
On the ground, fair and a diving play at first base by Norton. He'll hit Johnson covering, and the Tigers are playing some terrific defense tonight.
You know, whether Norton is playing the hot corner at third base or whether he's playing first base where he's getting his first start tonight, he has made some terrific plays. 1 step in the dive, that's really all you have time for on this play. He stretches out, gets up, he knows Johnson's going to be there. He shows him the baseball and gives him a nice feed.
Boy, Norton had that great play in Texas on Sunday, which really helped the Tigers win a ball game, and he comes up with another terrific play here tonight.
Game-saving play on Sunday.
Tigers have had a couple of great defensive plays in this one. Guillen back in the second on a ground ball by Miller, and now Durazo is robbed. Hatteberg has a double to his credit tonight. Two 2-0 now on Scott Hatteberg, who had the unenviable task of replacing Jason Giambi at first base.
You know, I think what they had in mind last year when Giambi decided to leave was they were going to replace him with a couple of guys, and Durazo and Hatteberg are a couple of guys they felt like could fill his shoes.
Soft liner to left is a base hit. He's 2 for 2.
That's a nice piece of hitting right there. 2-0. Most guys are looking to drive the ball into the seat somewhere to the pull field, but he simply took the ball the opposite way.
So the Athletics now post their 6th hit of the game. 6 already in this one off Johnson. That'll bring up Damian Miller.
Now, Damian Miller's had a pretty nice job the last 3 years in the big league.
I would say so.
He's been in the big leagues a lot longer than that, but 3 years ago he was able to catch Schilling and Johnson and Miguel Batista out in Arizona. Last year it was Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor, Zambrano, and Clement in Chicago. And now this year he's got the 3-headed monster.
Cito, Hudson, and Mulder in Oakland. It's some pretty good talent. I know that Mark Pryor mentioned when he found out that Miller had been dealt to the Athletics, he was very disappointed because he felt that Miller was a big part of his success. It was sad to see him go, and most of those pitchers on that Chicago staff felt the same way.
Well, Pryor elevated his game to a whole different level last year in his 2nd year in the show.
On the ground to the third baseman, Inge ranging right, fires to second one. Another double play started by Brandon Inge at third base. Second twin killing of the night for the Tigers. It goes 5, 4, 3. One as we go to the bottom of the fourth at Comerica Park tonight. And again, our Aflac trivia question this evening. 100 years ago today, Cy Young's 23 consecutive no-hit innings ended. Who did he start that streak against? Was it Philly, Detroit, or St. Louis? It was the Philadelphia Athletics. Cy Young threw a perfect game to start the streak on May 5th against the A's.
I bet a lot of our viewers got that question right.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I might have to fight you on that one. Here's Pudge Rodriguez to lead it off. First pitch swinging, slams into the air to center, and having trouble with it is Kase. He'll play it on one hop.
I had trouble with that ball. That ball had some tailing effect to it. It must have been hit off the end of the bat or something, because it looked like it was going in the left center, and it ended up in center field. Take a look at this ball.
How does that go? You are the sound effects guru. Rondell White takes a big rip.
It's like my pitching wedge when I play my fade. Or is that a draw?
Is that what you call it?
I'm just kidding. I got no clue with a fade or a draw or any of that stuff.
No balls and one strike on White. Uh-oh. Slow roller hit to short. Crosby to second one. Relay in time. The double play. They got him at first base.
87-mile-per-hour fastball on the inside part of the plate. It's not often you see Rondell get jammed on a pitch with that kind of velocity, but Zito's done a nice job of mixing his pitches up.
Asked Bruce Fields today what he thought the best approach is to take against Zito. As you see Rondell jammed on this play in the turn two. And Bruce said, we know he has the great curveball. And he said, you've got to look fastball. You be patient. Look for the fastball. When you get it, you hit it. And the Tigers have had some pretty good swings this inning. Pudge went after a first pitch fastball and lined that single to center. But that time Rondell was his jam. There's a breaker that bounced in.
You know, up until Mulder got a victory on Sunday against Minnesota, the Oakland starters had gone 14 consecutive appearances without getting a win. The starting pitching, which is not often we talk about something like that.
Not with this step. It is very unheard of to see that type of a slump. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Of course, they've got a new pitching coach this year. Rick Peterson is now the pitching coach in New York for the Mets, and they're second in the league in pitching, talking about the Mets. And Oakland struggled a little bit. And some people believe that is the fact that Rick Peterson is no longer here. Kurt Young is their new pitching coach, and he will do an outstanding job, but this is the first year for him in this capacity.
Ken Monka has said that no, that has nothing to do with it. Young has done a great job here, and in fact Peterson was here for a stretch last year when his top 3 struggled, so they don't want to lay all the blame on the new pitching coach. And that is hit foul. And, speaking of that top 3 in Mulder, Zito, and Hudson, these are guys that have done it a long, long time. Off to a slow start this year. You see their numbers career in April and May. Pretty good. Not bad. Most teams would take that. But look what they do in September and October. Money time. 45-9 with an ERA about 2.5.
But for whatever reason, those outstanding numbers of 45-9 in September and August, not good enough to get them out of the first round of the playoffs every year. Last 4 years, division series and out.
That is true. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Guillen, and the Tigers are retired in the fourth. Get a leadoff single and Strand none. 3 strikeouts for Zito in a 2-1 game. Detroit Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Wallside Windows. Most preferred, most referred. And by Art Van, the only furniture store with a total satisfaction guarantee. A's pitching coach Kurt Young has watched Zito toss himself a pretty good game to this point as we head to the 5th inning. And Berry has surrendered just 3 hits in this one. And the A's now will try and get him and their ball club a little bit more breathing room. Mark McLemore leads it off against Jason Johnson. Johnson has been helped out by 2 double play balls tonight, both started by third baseman Brandon Inge, who is getting the call out there this evening. With the lefty Zito on the mound, Munson gets the night off, and Inge has looked very good with the glove already. Breaking ball grounded fair. Another diving play by Norton. He will stretch out and touch the bag for the out. Wow.
He's made a couple of dazzling plays. This one takes a little bit of a bad hop for him. From the fact that his feet are moving, he's able to reach up and grab that ball. In last inning, it was a similar type play, but this one he had time to get the ball to Johnson. How about the defense, though? Tigers are flashing some leather.
A couple of 5-4-3 double plays to kick in as well.
Rawlings and Wilson would be proud of the boys.
Yes, they would. 1 gone now for Bobby Crosby. You know, it's amazing, really, that Norton has struggled so much with the bat, and a lot of times that will carry over defensively, but Greg has played sparkling defense at either side of the infield this year. He's been able to separate the 2. That's hit hard down the left field line. It is a foul ball. And a souvenir.
A lot of times pitchers will throw you a little slower breaking ball or slower fastball when the count's 1-0. And that's exactly the result that they're trying to get. They know a very aggressive hitter like Crosby is looking for something inside to pull in that situation, and they'll take a little bit off and to get you to foul that ball off down the left field line very sharply.
Busting in with a fastball. He missed on Crosby.
And that must be the book on Crosby to bust him inside, because he did it his very first time up as well until the 3-2 count where the fastball was taken out of the yard.
Tried to check his swing, but he went around. This is a young man in Crosby that has had a lot of success in his playing career. He has been a Pacific Coast League Rookie of the Year, college All-American, a first-round pick. Laid off the breaking ball there. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pudge rather dropping down the signs. We'll see what they want here. Something off speed on Crosby. It's fouled back. Changed up on him that time. Crosby's father, Ed, was a utility infielder in the big leagues. He played with the Reds in St. Louis and Cleveland, so he's from a baseball background. And his dad, by the way, is now a scout who signed Jason Giambi. It's slowly down the third base line, foul. Well, Johnson has battled in this one. He has given up the 2 home runs, solo shots in the 2nd and 3rd innings, but he's got to credit his defense tonight for helping keep him in the game. Tigers have been out hit 6-3, trail 2-1. Pudge wants the fastball away. Crosby is able to waste it back into the seats. Top of the order waiting on deck, Mark Kotsay. Crosby, tired of waiting, steps out. Breaking ball missed low. He lost him. Ball 4. So 1-out base runner now for the Athletics. Hey fans, don't forget the Tigers 6-game suite package gets you a suite for A-Rod of the Yankees along with 5 other great games this season. Reserve your 6-game suite package now by calling the Tigers at 313-471-2222. Here's Mark Kotsay. Crosby draws a throw. Hasn't stolen yet this year. He's got home runs from Dye in the 2nd, Crosby in the 3rd, and now they look for more here in the 5th.
And Kotsay not running very well right now. If Johnson's able to make a pitch, he could get Kotsay to hit into his 4th double play of the year. Former #1 draft choice of the Florida Marlins, as a matter of fact. The assistant general manager, Al Avila, and also David Dombrowski were with the Florida Marlins at the time they drafted Mark Kotsay. Out of Cal State Fullerton.
He was a Golden Spikes winner, wasn't he?
I scouted him in college, as a matter of fact. The same year that I scouted Munson and also Eric Chavez, Mark Kotsay was on my list.
Did you give him a good report?
I gave him a very good report. He's turned out to be somewhat the kind of player I thought he would be. Just a good baseball player. You could see it back when he was in college. He did a lot of things right. He could bunt. He played defense well. He ran the bases well. He did a lot of things right.
And Maka has inserted him into the leadoff slot, and he has done well in that position for the Athletics. Crosby the runner at first. How about another double play? 2 balls and 1 strike. Tigers have turned the pair.
You know, I like the aggressiveness with the fastball from Johnson today, but he's just not throwing it over the plate. You must throw it over the plate. You must get yourself in better counts. The A's have been hitting 2-1 and 3-1 too often today.
Budge setting up inside for the fastball on 2-1. Threw it right by him. A little extra on that one. 91 on the gun.
I'd like to see him come right back with that same pitch on the inside part of the plate. Most hitters aren't looking for this pitch, and that's why he gets tied up. Most guys look away in fastball counts because pitchers just do not go inside very often in that count. Go back in there.
Missed up high with a breaking ball. 3-2 now.
Well, more than likely Crosby's going to be taken off from first base. This team does not steal a lot of bases, but this is the perfect opportunity for Ken Maka, the manager of the A's, to get a runner in motion to try to stay out of the double play.
Crosby will draw a throw, and Johnson almost threw it away, and it looked like Crosby was leaning.
And here's a situation where normally with 1 out, because you know that basically you're not trying to steal this base, you're simply relying on Kotsay putting the ball in play. But you can tell Crosby is trying to get a very good jump because he knows Pudge is behind the dish. If Kotsay strikes out, he doesn't want to get thrown out.
3-2. Runner holds. Slapped in the air toward left center field. That ball is down. It's a base hit, maybe more. White will cut it off. Here comes the runner to third. That's Crosby. They'll send him home. Relay coming to the plate. Not in time. Throw down to third. Safe there. Kotsay drives in a run, and the A's lead 3-1. Double and an RBI. He'll take third on the throw.
That's a ball that stays up, and that's why he's been hurt majority of the time. The good base coaching by Ron Washington at third base, watching Monroe run very, very hard into the gap. It's very tough for him to gather his body and try to get it out at home plate. And Pudge alertly left his position to try to get Kotze at third, but a little too late.
So give Kotze his 10th RBI of the season. And now Johnson has fallen behind by 2 runs. And the Tigers have decided to pull the infield in here in the 5th inning, already down by a pair. They are in all the way around. Not quite on the grass, but in a couple of steps. And Eric Burns with a great RBI chance. Breaking ball away, 1-0 on Burns.
When you go up against Oakland, there's a couple of things that you could probably take out of the equation if you're Alan Trammell, because they really don't do it at all. That's not to say they may not try it here, but they don't squeeze, and you know they're not going to steal. So as a manager, you really don't have to worry about those 2 plays.
1 ball and 1 strike. It is much more difficult to manage, I would think, against a guy like Eric Wedge, who's not afraid to squeeze over in Cleveland, and a guy that will try and catch you by surprise, because that places another thought in your mind. The A's have played it pretty close to the vest. There's a strike call. 1-2 now on Burns.
Now, if you're Pudge and you're Jason Johnson, and the fact that Burns has just taken 2 fastballs right down the middle, obviously he's looking for something soft. Which is why they're going to come right back with another fastball. Strike 3.
Got a piece of it. So Burns still alive. Well, Jason would like to get out of this inning with only the 1 run coming in. That would be somewhat of a victory for him. The A's trying to get a man home from third with less than 2 outs. And again, the breaking ball away from Johnson, and Burns lays off. Talked about Burns being a guy that really jump-started this Oakland team late last year. In the month of May, actually had a 22-game hitting streak, and was a big part of their success. 2-2 pitch. Missed it away. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and again, it's a matter of just not locating that fastball.
You know, if he's able to get Burns out, that would give Trammell the option of probably putting the left-hander Chavez on first base, who is on deck, and going after the cleanup hitter, Jermaine Dye. But first, Johnson's got to do his part.
Hit hard to third. Inge stays with it, checks the runner. Played nicely, and he guns down Burns.
Let's see what Trammell does here with Eric Chavez standing in the batter's box, the number 3 hitter. Base open, 2 outs.
Hit hard, but right at Brandon Inge. The Tigers get a break there. They wanted that ball hit directly at one of their infielders to stop that run, and here comes Alan Trammell.
He's going to go talk to him. A lot of times when you see the manager go out and talk in this particular situation where the intentional base on balls may be in line, he's going out to see how Johnson feels about pitching to Eric in this situation. And he may just give Pudge and also Johnson the luxury of deciding how they want to do it. But the one thing that he will tell him before he leaves is, don't let him hurt you if you do try to pitch around him.
Well, the alternative is, after Chavez, the right-hander Jermaine Dye.
But you've got the righty on righty there.
Exactly.
So, I mean, even though Jermaine's having a good year, if he was to walk Eric here, it would not be a bad play.
Well, there have been 6 full counts in this game for Johnson, and that has pumped his pitch count up to 82 now here in the 5th inning. As we look at his line through 4 2/3. Big batter here, Eric Chavez. And Johnson again missing away. 1 ball and no strikes.
This could be one of those unintentional, intentional base on balls.
That one caught the outside corner. He is clearly staying away from Chavez.
This is a tough position, too, for a hitter from time to time because you know the situation. If you're Eric Chavez in the batter's box right now, you've seen Trammell out there talking to him. You don't think he's going to give you anything good to hit here.
Breaking ball drops in nicely.
Such a thinking man's game. Which is why I'm sitting up here next to you, partner.
It's the same reason I'm up here. That and a lack of talent. That ball misses high and inside 2-2. They are playing Chavez to pull in the outfield. They give up some room in left center, but he's a guy that has had great success against Johnson, but also a guy that has good power to the opposite field. And that missed inside. They came in with a fastball in. 3-2 now. Here's that defensive alignment.
They also play him to pull in the infield. Huge gap in left center field.
Three and two. Swung on and missed it. Cut away from Pudge. Chavez will motor down to first base. The throw. Got him at first.
Wow.
Whoa, was that close, and Pudge fired a BB. So the run will not count. Rodriguez saves the day for Jason Johnson. He had to go back to the screen and chase it down. Got him. Well, Pudge saved the day with a terrific play on the strikeout to throw the runner out at first base, keep it a 3-1 ball game. Oakland with the lead as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning, and defense, and more defense tonight for the Tigers. Craig Monroe leads it off against lefty Barry Zito. The hook drops in low, 1-0. Monroe, then Higginson, and then Norton. Monroe pops it in the air, shallow center field. On the charge is Kotze, still coming. He'll track it down. One gone. Well, coming up tonight on the Best Damn Sports Show, period on tap. Wade keeps up the Pacers, and The Bachelor reveals all. Best Damn Sports Show, period. Tonight at 11:30, or immediately following our Pistons post-game coverage, right here on Fox Sports Net.
They got it all covered on that show, don't they?
They do indeed. Every angle.
When are you going to make your appearance on that show?
Probably never. I'll get my agent on that. How about you? Have they called you yet?
Not yet.
No. Higginson with one out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bobby. Barry Zito has been on his game tonight despite giving up a run in the first inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. Higginson, a modest 3-game hitting streak going right now. Nice slap toward left field. It is landing fair. Base hit. Higgy takes the turn and holds up. No, it's a modest 4-game hitting streak. 4th hit of the game. Given up by Zito. And that'll bring up Greg Norton. Higgy can chuckle about it now, but he'll take it. Not exactly a piece of art, but it counts. Fought off a pretty good pitch and has himself a single. Norton fanned back in the second. Oh, 0-1 on Greg Norton.
Zito has a couple of different breaking balls and a changeup that he's continuing to work on. And he changes speeds with everything. So far, he's done a pretty good job of keeping these guys off balance. Now, it's not the fact that they're not swinging the bats well. It's the fact that Mr. Zito's out there dealing tonight.
There's the breaking ball, and obviously that is his big pitch, and he will get many strikeouts with that pitch. But he also has a very good fastball and works that changeup as well. And when you have a guy that has 3 above-average pitches like that, you get the numbers that Barry Zito has posted for the last couple of years. One and one on Norton. Greg has made his presence felt defensively tonight with a couple of sparkling plays down at first base. And Alan Trammell said before the game flat out, if a guy performs for me like Norton did Sunday in Texas, he'll get another chance. That's why he's playing tonight. He had the great defensive play in Texas. He hit the home run as well and earned himself another start. Two and two. In the air to center. That ball is down. A base hit. Higginson moves up to second base. Back-to-back singles for the Tigers here in the 5th. So the tying runs are on now for Detroit, and that'll bring up number 9 hitter Brandon Inge. Tigers now have 5 hits on the board as they try and peck away against Zito. Barry Zito is 25 years old. In fact, he will turn 26 this Thursday, so the birthday is right around the corner for the A's left-hander, former #1 pick out of USC. Inge swinging late, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He must have been looking for something else. It's not often you see a guy swing like that in a 1-0 count situation.
Breaking ball a little bit high. I mentioned Zito out of USC. His catcher at Southern Cal is Eric Munson. And so those were teammates at Southern Cal, and Eric caught him there and says that it was easy to catch Zito. He just threw the glove up and he hit a spot every single time. Little looper, center field. That ball is down, a base hit. Here comes Higginson rounding third. He will score. Throw comes into second base. Brandon Inge has an RBI single, 3 consecutive Tigers hits.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Kurt Young, the pitching coach, go out and have a conversation with Zito. His fastball's been very good. His curveball has been very good. But we told you in our pitching report early, as you get a look at the changeup grip, that has not been a good pitch for him so far. Norton hit a changeup for a base hit, and now Inge gets an RBI base hit on a changeup. He may not throw many more changeups today. They've got to score this run.
Sanchez now with a man at third, the tying run at third base, go ahead run at first base.
If you're Norton at third base, you always have to be aware of the fact that he may bunt at any time.
And he does, and drags it down the right side. Tough play, McLemore. No play. A run scores, and the Tigers have tied it up. What a deadly weapon that is.
It has turned out to be that way. From time to time, he will pop it up when he leaves too soon, but when he stays in the batter's box and he allows the ball to travel deep and he places it where he wants to place it, which is right toward the second baseman, it is almost impossible to throw him out. Mark McLemore did everything that he could possibly do to make that play, and he still couldn't make it.
No chance. When that ball was put right there, absolutely no chance.
Nice job by Norton being heads up as well at third base, expecting the bunt.
All of a sudden, Jason Johnson now has had his teammates tie this one up and looking to go ahead. Still only 1 out for Fernando Vina.
If you really want to force the issue here, and you need to force the issue every now and then when the game starts to speed up for the defenders, put the hit and run on. You've got a good count to do it in right here, 1-0.
Keep the pressure on.
Why not?
Breaking ball missing high. 2-0 now on Vina. Walk and a fly ball plus a steal for Fernando, and we have time called now as Young, the pitching coach, comes trotting out. Seven Tigers hits now, so each team has posted 7. Well, as they talk about it on the mound, we will tell you that we're right back with you tomorrow when the Tigers take on the same Oakland Athletics. Coverage begins at 6:30 with the Mike's Hard Lemonade pregame show. Tigers and A's tomorrow night on Fox Sports Net, where you'll see the best Tigers games all season long. And this has turned out to be a pretty good game in its own right. Down low, no, it's in there, a strike. Right at the knees, 2-1 on Vina. In the air to center field. Katse is there. Out number 2.
Vina's getting closer. Right now, he's not swinging the bat very well. He's hitting 236 going into that at bat. But he's starting to make better contact, which is key for him. Can't get disgusted. All you can do is hit the ball hard. Sooner or later, they'll start to fall.
And you hope that hamstring that he tweaked in Texas will not continue to bother him. Bruce Fields has watched his offense string together 4 consecutive hits in this inning. The bunt single by Sanchez driving one in. Here is Pudge now with 2 outs. Zito missing inside, 1-0. Pudge a single and a strikeout in this one, batting .356. Has made a great defensive play tonight. A good guy to have on your side. Tigers have found that out. Breaking ball and a good stop by Damian Miller. Look at that, Rod.
Woo, 327. But how about this tonight? 3 for 6, that's 500.
Well, that's not just the American League, that's the American and National League.
That's in the show.
Yes, it is.
The
And
show.
it's against this guy, Barry Zito. The show. Here's the 2-0. Right back at you, Rod.
Rod don't do foul balls.
No, we've learned that. 2-1 on Pudge. He's hit safely now in 13 of his last 16.
That's a nice shot right there. Right into your living room. Barry Zito fastball.
Hit hard to left field, down a base hit. Gonna go. Here comes the throw to the plate. Safe. In scores. And now they got Sanchez hung up between second and third.
That's bad base running by Sanchez.
Sanchez is gonna make it. And now they've got Pudge between first and second. And Pudge is tagged out.
Plus, I don't do rundowns.
But the Tigers take the lead. Pudge gets an RBI single. Not happy about the rundown. But the Tigers have taken the lead. 4-3 Detroit. Tigers take the lead 4-3 as we go to the 6th inning, and Pudge Rodriguez eventually tagged out in a rundown on a busted play in the base path.
You know, so many times, Mara, we talk about this particular situation where it's going to be a close play at home. If you're the base runner, you have to continue to go because you want Chavez to cut this ball off and throw you out at third base if you're Sanchez. But Sanchez stopped. Pudge, who hit the ball, ran all this way to second base because he felt like Sanchez should be on third base, and that's where he should have been. But he gets himself into a rundown. But that's one situation where if you're the manager, Alan Trammell, you don't mind giving up that third out to make sure that Brandon Inge scores, because had that been a better throw from outfield,
He's out.
He's out.
Yeah, good point. So the Tigers will settle for 3 runs in that inning, and Tram just happy to have the lead back. It's 4-3 now as we go to the 6th inning. It has been a back-and-forth ball game all evening long, and now Jermaine Dye will lead it off. He touched up Johnson for a home run back in the 2nd, a solo shot that led off the inning.
You're going to have to watch Johnson very closely in this particular inning. He's already thrown a lot of pitches in this game. If they get one guy on base, you got to get somebody up in your bullpen.
Jason has gone to a ton of full counts in this one here tonight. 7 to be exact.
He's been able to get himself in this situation that he's in right now, however, a few times, but he just hasn't been able to put the Oakland Athletics away with 2 strikes.
On the ground left side, under the glove of Inge, Guillen will have no play, and Dye is aboard. So a leadoff single, an infield hit. Once it got by Inge, it was going to be, I think, a little bit too tough for Guillen.
Just over his glove. And then Guillen wisely does not throw the ball back across the diamond because he did not have a good grip on it.
So the tying run is on now for the A's. Here is Rubio Durazo. Talking about that pitch count on Jason Johnson, the most he has thrown in a single game this year. 2 starts ago, he threw 111 pitches against Seattle in just 6 2/3 innings. Good stop by Pudge, 1-0. 92 pitches now, so he is zeroing in on 100 tonight. Bob Cluck keeping a close eye on Johnson. One ball and 1 strike on Durazo.
That's a big league pitch right there. Straight changeup to a dead fastball hitter in that count. Good pitch. Now, if you're Durazo, you don't know if you're going to get the fastball or another changeup.
That's low. 2 balls and 1 strike. There is some activity in the Tigers' pen. It's the big right-hander Esteban Yan. Tigers got some pretty good work out of their pen on Sunday, but Saturday is the day that I think really bothered Alan Trammell and Bob Cluck. Tigers couldn't get an out from their pen and suffered the big loss. On the ground and through, a base hit. So right back come the A's. They have the first 2 men aboard in the 6th inning. Durazo didn't hit that ball all that hard, but it's a single. That'll bring up a guy the Tigers have not been able to get out tonight, Scott Hatteberg. Single and a double. Bob Cluck has picked up the telephone, getting a report on Esteban Yan, how close he is to being ready. Johnson with another jam to try and pitch out of here. One 1-0 on Scott Hatteberg. This is a guy that has absolutely hammered the baseball with runners in scoring position. 429 this year. He is working on an 8-game hitting streak. 2 hits tonight. That's a strike call, 1-1. Hatteberg, ironically enough, came into this game 0 for 13 lifetime against Jason Johnson. He's erased that with 2 hits. That's on the ground up the middle into center field. Dye will come to third. They're going to send him home, and he will score. 3 consecutive hits for the A's. It's a 4-4 ball game.
That has to be disappointing if you're Trammell and Bob Cluck, the fact that the Tigers just scored 3 runs only, to have Jason come right back and give up the run, and this may be it for him. Looks like Allen's going to take that stroll out to the mound.
He's thinking about it, and here he comes. Jan should be ready if needed here. That is the 10th Oakland hit as they have come back to tie this one up, and still nobody out. And Tram now signals to the bullpen. So that will indeed be it for Jason Johnson. He's bounced out after 5+ innings. A wall-side windows pitching change. Johnson will be relieved by Jan. First, this family value pack is available for all Friday, Saturday, and Sunday home games. Call the Tigers now at 313-471-BALL. 313-471-2255. And Esteban Jan now has checked into this one for the Tigers. This will be his 11th appearance. So Jan now comes in a jam because there are 2 on, still nobody out. 3 straight hits for the A's. They have come back to tie this one up. They have Durazo at second and Hatteberg at first.
You know, Oakland does not bunt that often, but Damian Miller is a guy that has spent the last 6 years in the National League. If there was a guy that would bunt, it would be him.
No sign of it there, and he takes down low 1-0. You've got to be able to bunt in the National League. Ken Baca has watched his team fight back here in the 6th, and they have a golden opportunity to reclaim the lead for Zito. 1 ball and 1 strike. Miller hasn't had a whole lot of success tonight. He was robbed of a hit by Guillen back in the 2nd, and has also hit into a double play. 1 of 2 the Tigers have turned tonight. Another one would look really good right here. The A's this season have had 1 sacrifice all year long, just 1. Just not a big part of the program. A lot of the philosophy is you don't give up outs, and that's the way that the A's have operated over the past couple of years under Art Howe and now Ken Baca.
You know, they emphasize plate discipline, on base percentage, and the big inning, as you just talked about. The ability to work a count, develop solid understanding of the strike zone. That is exactly what they stress in the A's organization.
Swing and a miss. So Miller goes down.
Good pitch by Esteban Jan. Good breaking ball, down and away, located perfectly.
So Jan comes out of the pen and strikes out the first man he faces, and Alan Trammell liking his decision so far. Critical for Jan to come out and throw strikes and get that first batter he faces. McLemore hits this one hard to right field, and it is caught at a leap and then dropped by Monroe. They will hold up Durazo at third base, and the bases are loaded. Craig Monroe got there, appeared to get the glove on it, and then dropped it.
I'm not sure what happened, but this ball was hit like a missile off the bat of McLemore. As he gets back, he jumps for it. It looks like the ball hits the heel of the glove and then falls down. Yep, right on the heel of the glove. Durazo hustling, but Ron Washington, third base coach, wisely holds him up. They almost caught Jermaine Dye, who rounded first base too far.
That's going to go as a base hit. So Durazo moves to third. Hatteberg at second base, and McLemore is given a single on that play. The bases are loaded, still only 1 out for Crosby. That would have been a huge out for Esteban Jan. And Monroe got himself in position, but just caught it on the heel and it popped out. There's a strike call. Interesting choice by Alan Trammell. He was asked before the game, you've got both Higginson and Monroe in the game at the same time, yet you have Higginson DHing when he is considered the better outfielder. And Tramm said, well, Monroe has been struggling with the bat, so it's much tougher to DH when you're struggling with the bat. And that's why he felt that Higginson, being the more veteran player, would handle the DH role a little bit better, so that's why Monroe is in the outfield tonight.
Well, just to take that a step further, when you do DH and you are struggling from an offensive standpoint, you tend to think too much. And that's exactly what Craig would have been doing. He'd be down in the tunnel thinking about his hitting.
Budge goes down to block that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If you're thinking double play, Crosby has bounced into just 1 this year. 2-2 on the number 9 hitter, who has homered and walked and has scored a couple of times as well. On the ground, it is a foul ball. Just foul, and a break there for the Tigers. Jan relieving Johnson, who started the inning by giving up singles to Dye, Durazo, and Hatteberg. And the A's, with the bases loaded this year, have not been very good, only 242. They'll fill it up now, 3-2, and no spot to put Crosby. There's Durazo, the go-ahead run at third base. Hatteberg and McLemore, the other runners. On the ground to the second baseman. Beating you to second one. The relay. Double play. 4-6-3. How do you like that? The third one turned tonight by the Tigers infield. Pitcher's best friend. And the A's have to settle for 1. It's a 4-4 game. As we go to the home half of the 6th inning now, 4-4 ball game. And Tigers fans, remember, Game Day Audio lets you listen live to every Tigers game online. Sign up today at DetroitTigers.com, where baseball is always on. It has been a tight one tonight. Barry Zito back to the hill, facing Rondell White. Missing up high with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Tip right into the glove of Damian Miller. It'll be White, Guillen, and then Monroe here in the 6th inning. We're getting some emails rolling in, by the way. The question tonight was, with all of the players on the field wearing the socks up high, up to the knees, who would look funny wearing them? Now, they look good on Zito. There's a breaking ball up high. We have quite a few guys that are wearing them up high tonight. There's a good look at Barry. See, now that's just a good look on Zito. Who would they not look good on? Way high again. Jeff from Colorado Springs tuning in tonight says that they would look pretty funny on Alan Trammell. He doesn't think Tramm would look too spiffy with the high socks. Now there's the opposite of the high socks. Eric Chavez down at third, doesn't show any. It's all a matter of style. That's hit hard back up the middle into center. So the Tigers continue to get their rips against Zito.
He tried to sneak that 88-mile-per-hour fastball by Rondell once again, and Rondell was waiting for it that time. This boy has got some lightning-quick hands. Right into your living room.
Doesn't take him long to get through the strike zone, does it?
Not at all. I'm wondering what Allen may want to do here. Does he want to bunt here with Guillen? Guillen can handle the bat exceptionally well. He's 0 for 2, the fly out and the strikeout. You've got White on first base, who doesn't run well. You want to get him into scoring position.
Well, he didn't show it on that first pitch, but the Tigers really had some pretty good swings against him in the 5th inning. In fact, they put together 4 straight hits. Now, granted, one of them was the bunt single by Sanchez, but maybe they're starting to zero in on Zito now, not thinking bunt.
I think maybe Zito thought he was going to try to bunt there. That's why he elevated the fastball, trying to get Guillen to pop up.
1 ball and 1 strike. how has Barry Zito done lifetime against the Tigers in his first 2 starts? An 0-2 record, 9 earned runs allowed. In his last 7, he's given up just 6 earned runs.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. He's 6 earned runs in 7 starts.
Record's not all that good, but the ERA is great. But he's given up 4 tonight.
Well, this is a different Tigers team.
Yes, it is.
There's a whole lot of pitchers running around in the American League this year that's going to give them some runs for the Tigers.
Absolutely. They've already changed their minds about how easy it's going to be to face this Tigers offense this year.
What did Bruce Fields call them earlier? Quick strike offense?
Yep. It's a good name for it. Guillen down to the count, 1-2. Talking about the possibility of Guillen laying down a bunt in this at bat. He has only 1 sacrifice this year, so Tram had him swinging away.
It's something that Allen did with regularity last year. They led the planet in sacrifice bunts last year, did the Tigers.
Well, they had to. The only way they could manufacture runs.
You can see that coming out in this inning, Zito a lot more aggressive with his fastball. He got hurt by Norton and also Brandon Inge. Last half inning with a couple of changeups that stayed up. And now when he's getting ahead, he's going with the pitch that he can control a little bit more, which is the fastball.
Swing and a miss. Guillen is out of there, 1 away. Strikeout number 4 for Zito.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch to Guillen. Everything is elevated. That must be the book on him. Elevate the fastball, because that's all he got. Steady diet of fastballs all right around the belt buckle, and Guillen couldn't catch up with him.
Greg Monroe looks at a breaking ball, drops in nicely, 0-1. Zito is a guy that will rack up the strikeouts. He has only 4 tonight. A couple of starts ago, he struck out 9 Yankees in New York, but lost that game. Another breaking ball. Monroe lets this one sail by. 1-1.
That's just a wicked pitch. I mean, he stands 6 feet 6 inches, so there's not a lot of guys of that kind of height that pitch from the left side. So as you're a hitter, you're looking at the ball coming from an angle that you don't see in a lot of guys. Tough to pick up.
That's tap foul. 1-2. Well, Monroe has had success against Zito. In fact, last year he got it.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why he has not gotten the fastball, because last year in Oakland he did get the fastball and Monroe took him straight away center field. They'll probably elevate the fastball here. Well, they can do a couple of different things if they like. They can go breaking ball down, or they can go fastball up out of the strike zone, as he has done to so many hitters tonight.
That was up, and it's a 2-2 count. Zito won the Cy Young a couple of years ago in the 2002 campaign. He was only 24 when he won that award. And he was the youngest to win the Cy Young since Roger Clemens in 1986, when Clemens was only 24. So talk about the 3 guns that Oakland has in their starting rotation, all of them still young and still with a very, very bright future.
Isn't it Zito that plays the guitar?
Yes, it is. He just, I think a year ago, started teaching himself, self-taught. That is lined over the head of the shortstop Crosby into left field.
It's a good at-bat by Monroe. It's a very good at-bat by Craig. He had every reason not to have a good at-bat. He hasn't had a lot of them as of late. A couple of breaking balls down. He finally got a fastball that he tried to run in on him, and he jammed. He gets jammed, but still able to muscle this ball in the outfield. That's one thing about the game of baseball. It ain't all bad to get jammed from time to time.
That is only his 2nd hit lifetime against Zito. To go with that home run, now he has himself a single. 2 for 15, and now Miller will stroll out to the mound. So Monroe Monroe picks up his first hit of the night, the Tigers' second of the inning, as they threaten now to reclaim the lead. Here's Bobby Higginson, 1 for 2. Higginson, one of the few left-handers that has been kept in the lineup tonight by Alan Trammell. Carlos Pena getting the night off. Eric Munson getting the night off. Higginson takes up high. 2 balls, no strikes. Boy, how about the difference between last year and this year with men in scoring position?
That's amazing, those numbers. Simply amazing.
Just about 100 points higher in the average column. You see their major league, or I should say their American League ranks. This has been a team that has been able to just flat out turn it around offensively. In the air to center field. Katse has a beat on this one.
You know, a lot of that credit needs to go to the president and general manager, and also his assistant general manager, and also John Westall, who handles the finances for the ball club. He weighed in heavily on a lot of the decisions they made from a financial standpoint in the offseason, as we can look at David Dombrowski. But not only do they go out and they target certain guys, and then they sign those guys, but then for these guys to come in and do everything that they said that they would do, it really is amazing.
There's a pretty good pickup. Pudge Rodriguez. They really did some major retooling in the offseason that has changed the face of this Tigers club.
Yeah, that was the icing on the cake, they call it.
It was already a good offseason without Pudge. Pudge made it a great offseason. And that guy as well, Rondell White.
And Rondell White has a chance to make him his second consecutive All-Star team this year.
I'll tell you what, you've got to pull for a guy like Rondell White to get to the All-Star game. He made it last year, but he's such a great influence in the clubhouse. He will not find a nicer guy, I think, in this game.
Speaking of All-Star voting, you fans need to get out here and vote for these boys. Or online. They got voting online, too, don't they, Mario?
Yeah, they sure do. They've made it easy.
Yes, indeed. Get behind these guys.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to go to Tiger Stadium, pick me up about 30, 40 ballots, and sit there all game long and just punch out all the Tigers.
All Tigers. A lot of places do that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure enough to do it, though, anymore. That's a good way to get the hometown guys in the All-Star game. Foul back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of course, the All-Star game will come here to Comerica in 2005. So you might as well get some practice right now in voting for Tigers, because we're going to want at least a few for that 05 game as well.
They're already prepping for 2005 All-Star game as well.
White at second base and Monroe at first. Norton hanging tough against Zito. A lot of work to put on an All-Star game, and this is going to be a great venue, and I think a great opportunity for the city of Detroit to showcase this ballpark.
You know, I know Jim Stapleton and some of his staff on the business side have gone to the last couple of All-Star games and kind of seen how other teams are doing, and I know they're going to Houston this year. It's a big preparation. You need a couple of years to prepare for it. Uh-oh.
Oh, that was close.
That was his best fastball of the day.
Activity in the bullpen for the A's. It's a left-hander, Ricardo Rincon.
They have really struggled in their bullpen this year, but there's a lot of teams in the major league that have struggled out of their bullpens this year.
3-2. The runners will start here with 2 outs. And it's fouled away again. Norton is having himself a good at-bat here. And White will turn around, head back to second base.
Well, the second time around the batting order, whatever Zito was able to do to them the first time around, where they had some success against him, they have done a very good job second time around.
Zito has really had to work the last 2 innings. He got him looking. Strike 3 called, and Norton cannot believe it. Zito strikes out Norton with 2 on. Top of the order coming up for the A's. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Comerica. We listen, we understand, we make it work. Good ball game here tonight at Comerica Park. 4-4 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. And a new pitcher is on for the hometowners. Steve Collier is in out of the pen.
Well, Steve needs a good inning. That's for sure. Scores 4-4, the 7th inning. He really needs to come out and give his team a chance to win this game. Several guys down the Tigers bullpen have not pitched great as of yet this season, but it's still a long way to go, and these guys need to right the ship down there to give their team a chance.
Well, Bob Pluck and Alan Trammell have really tried to find ways to improve that bullpen, and Tram said pretty much flat out today that if his bullpen has another week like they did last week on that road trip, that some changes may happen, but they are hopeful that they can keep it status quo here and get these guys to start pitching like they know they are capable of doing.
Collier's got a good arm. He's got a very good fastball, gets up to 92. Occasionally he'll touch 93, and he's got a nice slider.
Kotze is the leadoff man. Talking about those bullpens. The highest bullpen ERA in the American League belongs to Cleveland, but look who's right behind them. Tigers and the A's. These are two teams that have struggled out of the pen. Little flare back is short. Guillen calling and catching. 1 away. One up, 1 down in the 7th. Collier hasn't seen a whole lot of the A's. In fact, the only A that has faced him is Kotze. Everybody else in the lineup has yet to see him, including Eric Burns. Burns does not get cheated on that first pitch. 0-1. Here's a young man that has had to fight for everything he's got. He was a walk-on at UCLA and ended up starting all 4 years there for the Bruins. He kind of came out of nowhere. Aggressively goes after that fastball out of the strike zone. 0-2. There's a good arm you talked about, Rod. This kid can throw hard on the left side. And like so many of the other Tigers young pitchers, learning to harness his stuff has become the trick.
They all need to take a page out of what Nate Robertson was featured on Sunday afternoon in Texas. Very aggressive with the fastball, which is key. You've got to establish the fastball.
Nate had a great start. A much needed start in Texas on Sunday after that very difficult loss on Saturday. Ooh, we had him struggling to pull the trigger, and he couldn't do it. Struck him out.
And speaking of Nate, he had that bulldog-type mentality of Sunday in Arlington against a very good Texas team. I mean, just fastballs. Here it is, hit it. You can see it in his eyes that he was going to come right after you. He must have ate a little gunpowder that morning or something, Mario, because he was fierce and competitive. I mean, he just let him have it. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered. The team needed that very badly.
Yeah, they did. And it was a different Nate Robertson on Sunday, and hopefully a Nate Robertson we will see the rest of the way. Who knows? Maybe it clicked in on Sunday, and we will see it the rest of the way.
He shaved, too. He had a beard going there on the road trip. It's amazing how them guys get them road trip, the beards going on the road trip. And then when you get home,
better clean up.
The wife, better shave it, pal.
1-1 on Chavez, who is 1 for 3 tonight.
You've been pretty consistent with your goatee, though.
Think so? Yeah. Now we'll see how that goes. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Obviously, you have permission to wear it.
Obviously. That may be changing sometime soon. Swing and a miss.
He's looking good out there. Coming right after him.
Fudge has called for that elevated fastball.
And as a lot of times as a hitter, when you see a guy out on the mound like Robertson was on Sunday, of that clip we just showed you, and you see Collier tonight,
swing and a miss. Couldn't handle the breaking ball. He struck him out. Chavez goes down swinging for the second time tonight. And that is a bell tire 1-2-3 inning for the Tigers. We're tied at 4 at the stretch. 4-4 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And 2003 was a season to remember, a year filled with unbelievable moments. But beginning May 22nd, the best is yet to come as Fox Saturday Baseball returns for the first of 18 weeks of what promises to be the greatest season in recent memory. It all begins May 22nd on Fox. Barry Zito still in this one as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Brandon Inge skies the first pitch toward right. It is slicing and heading back into the seats.
May 22nd, right around the corner.
Well, it sure is.
It's always great to get up on Saturday morning when you've got a night game and get a chance to watch a little Saturday afternoon baseball.
Used to do that a lot as a kid. Should be some great pennant races this year. Inge had an RBI single back in the 5th. He has driven in 17 now.
How many times do you think the Yankees in Boston will be on?
A ton. And that may be understating it. But you know what? They're a pretty good story, and they're two pretty good teams.
Tigers will be on if they're playing well.
Grounded right to the third baseman. Chavez handles this one.
June 5th at Minnesota. Tigers are scheduled to play Saturday baseball on
Tune in.
Fox.
Mark it on your calendar. Tigers are getting a little bit more word spread about them this year. Chad Bradford is the right-hander, the submariner. Top of the order now, Alex Sanchez. Curve low and away. In the air, center field. Kotze, 2 outs. It's Fernando Vina now with 2 gone. Fernando trying to find that stroke offensively. What an extra weapon he would be if he gets that bat going. Slaps that one foul the other way, 0-1. Tigers have 10 hits in this one. The A's have 11. Jason Johnson is out of the game. Barry Zito is still going for the Athletics. Running up to show bunt. Vina lets it go by. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball is in there, a strike. For the rest of the series, Harden and Bonderman tomorrow, and then Redmond and Maroth. And the Tigers announced today that Gary Knotts as well. Tram said before the game will start up on Friday. He has been inserted into the rotation, named the 5th starter today. At least he'll get an opportunity on Friday and hopefully earn a few more. Grounded left side, and Chavez scoops it up and will retire the side. So the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the 7th. We're on our way to the 8th, tied at 4. Four ball game as we go to the 8th inning now in our game summary. Big inning for the Tigers, the 5th, and Bobby Higginson started the rally with a base hit. Brandon Inge from the number 9 hole in the lineup singles in a run, and Alex Sanchez bunts his way on an infield single, scoring yet another as the Tigers scored 3 times in that inning to go up 4-3. A's have come back to tie it up, and here is our Comerica game summary. Jason Johnson tonight, 5 innings, allowed 4 earned runs. Barry Zito is still in this game through 7. Dye and Crosby with solo home runs. A's now have homered in 13 straight games. Rondell with an RBI leads the American League. And the defense has been big tonight for the Tigers. Alan Trammell has watched his D turn 3 double plays. Collier back to work as we head to the 8th inning. Dye, Durazo, and Hatterberg. Jermaine Dye has 2 hits tonight, single, home run, 2 runs scored. And a 4-game hitting streak now. Dye's injury problems began in the 2001 division series against the Yankees when he fouled a ball off his leg and broke his tibia. The rehabilitation for that injury continued well into the 2002 season. That's hit hard, but right at the shortstop. 1 away. Well, Fox Sports Net and Briggs & Stratton congratulate 12-year-old Brent Manhart for winning the Diamonds in the Rough contest. On May 29th, Briggs & Stratton will present Brent with a baseball prize package, plus his youth baseball organization receives $5,000 to plant grass, lay sod, groom the infield, and make other improvements to Wilkinson Field and Madison Heights. So congratulations to Brent Manhart. Here's Arubio Durazo now with 1 away. Low and outside to Durazo, who is 1 for 3.
Speaking of turf, Heather Nabosny was on the grounds crew for the Super Bowl this year. Mario, the Super Bowl.
Now that's a big-time honor. But look at the way Comerica Park looks.
Absolutely, this is absolutely beautiful. She does a marvelous job, and I'm sure she has the people that work with her that keep this yard looking as nice as it does. But a spectacular venue, and she does a wonderful job, obviously.
Well, she's going to have this place looking spiffy for that All-Star game next year. There's a strike called on Durazo. 2-1.
She started with the Michigan Whitecaps. West Michigan.
Midwest League?
Yeah.
A-ball?
Yeah, I was coaching in the league when she was the groundskeeper there.
Really?
Yep, she kept that facility in nice condition as well.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Keeping a major league facility in tip-top shape is not the easiest job, or when you have to take an area this size, full of grass, and keep it manicured like it is.
You have to talk to the players. You really have to get their view on how they like the surface, whether they like the grass long or whether they want it cut short. You need to make sure that the dirt is manicured properly, where there's no bad hops. Tigers players absolutely love playing on this field.
Swing and a miss. Boy, has Collier looked good tonight. 3rd strikeout.
Good old country hardball, fastball, 4-seam fastball across the body on the outside part of the plate.
Well, here's the guy that the Tigers thought they were getting when they traded away Cody Ross, a left-hander with a great arm. He has struck out 3 of the 5 batters he has faced tonight. That's off the end of the bat foul. Scott Hatterberg. Big night for Hatterberg, 3 hits.
He's going to have to work if he's going to get another hit. But Big Collier's out there throwing some little bitty ones up here tonight. He's got a good fastball going. Little aspirins he's throwing.
Little bitty ones?
Yeah.
0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, how big would it be if Collier were to work himself into the pitcher the Tigers hoped that he could be, that extra left-hander out of the bullpen? Because basically the Tigers have had to rely on Jamie Walker as the only guy from the left side that has been consistent this year, out of the pen at least. So he is certainly an important part of this pen.
This could be a huge boost for Collier. The fact that he's in a game this late, the score is tied at 4. Allen's showing that kind of confidence in him. This could be the outing that catapults him the rest of his year.
High fly ball into right field. It'll stay in the park. Craig Monroe waiting. Collier has another 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Pudge will start things off for the Tigers. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Pepsi. It's the Cola. And by Comerica. We listen, we understand, we make it work. 4-4 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Barry Zito is done for the night. He will give way to the Oakland pen, and they will select Chad Bradford to come into this one now.
He scuffled a little bit this year as well. He comes in with a good record, 2-1, but an earned run average approaching 8 base on balls and just over 12 innings for Bradford. So if you're the Tigers, you may want to be a little patient on the first or second pitch of your at-bat just to see if he's got his good control tonight.
Father and son hoping for a Tigers win tonight. Try and take the lead here in the 8th inning as Pudge Rodriguez leads it off. Bradford is a 29-year-old right-hander who is very noticeable with his delivery to the plate. Very unique. Really can't get a whole lot lower than that. In fact, he will scrape his hand every now and then in the dirt on the mound. Pudge 1 for 9 against Bradford lifetime with 3 strikeouts. This guy can be very difficult on right-handed hitters.
We saw it just a couple of days ago, or Friday to be exact, in Arlington, where Jeff Nelson came in against Pudge, a right-hander who had been very tough on Pudge throughout his career. Pudge was just 3 for 25 against Nelson. He took him deep. A 2-run home run.
That's off the end of the bat right to the second base. Easy play back on. That'll bring up Rondell White. Well, the Tigers offense has been clicking despite the fact that Dimitri Young has been out of the lineup, but it may not be long until we see DY back in the lineup.
Oh, he's got a shoe on. That's a good sign.
Earlier today, he was able to actually hit off the tee for the first time. So he is making progress.
He expects to be playing when the team goes to Kansas City on this next road trip, which is the last 3 games of the next trip.
That is exactly 2 weeks from today is the target date they are setting, which would be the 25th. Dimitri testing out that leg with a little 2-step with Guillen. Little pre-game square dancing going on.
He has a lot of fun. They're all having a lot of fun this year.
He can cut a rug, man. You been taking lessons from him?
No, I have not.
Checked his swing and he fouled it back. 0-2 on Rondell White.
Because Bradford throws from that angle underneath, most of his breaking balls rise towards you as a hitter. Where you're used to the breaking ball going down and away from you, his breaking balls rise.
How about the 7 blown saves in the last 12 games for the A's bullpen? They have had their troubles. That one floats away from White. 1-2.
Oakland has had that rising effect we talked about. Oakland has had 7 games this year where they've led by 3 runs or more and lost.
Well, and Bradford last year was a workhorse out of their pen. I mean, he was lights out for Ken Mockin and the entire staff. He appeared in more than 70 games the last 2 years and had an ERA in the 3 range, the low 3s. So they went to him a lot. He pitched well. That's chopped deep at first, and behind the bag is Hatterberg. Bradford will cover, and a couple of ground ball outs. 2 gone. Does it take a while, Rod, as far as a hitter is concerned from their perspective to get used to the different type of delivery he has and the different type of movement he has? Because certainly he is unconventional and not like anything they've seen the rest of the game.
No, I don't think it really takes a long period of time to get used to seeing anybody like Bradford, because really you're only going to get a chance to see him maybe one time in a game, and it may be for a couple of days, and you may see him only once in the series. But what you really have to concentrate on is just getting a good pitch to hit. If you get that one fastball in the strike zone, you don't want to miss it.
Another tapper back up the middle. On the charge, McLemore has no play. Popped out of his glove. And Guillen beats it out. It's a base hit.
Flew home cooking. McLemore comes in, and he may have had a chance to complete this play if he gets it out of his glove cleanly, but Guillen will take that base hit.
It'll be his first of the night, an infield single for Carlos Guillen. The Tigers now have 11 hits. Go-ahead run is on for Craig Monroe. Monroe singled his last time up. A's pitching had retired 7 straight Tigers before that infield hit. You can't get much more even than that. 4-11-0 across the board for both sides. One and one on Craig Monroe. We talked about Dimitri Young. You add him to this offense, which came in, by the way, with more runs than anybody in the American League. They led the league in runs scored. You throw in Dimitri Young's bat, this offense really becomes pretty potent. They already are, because Young has had some very good numbers. 297 last season. He's a 296 lifetime hitter. Long ball threat, and the Tigers can't wait to get him back. Swing and a miss. Monroe goes chasing that slow breaking ball, and that's all for the Tigers in the 8th. Let's go to the 9th inning, tied at 4 runs apiece. Ninth inning, tied at 4 runs apiece, and Steve Collier with a good outing in 2 innings. He struck out 3.
You know, this is the Steve Collier that the Tigers traded for when they got him from the Dodgers. A guy that throws hard. He has a good breaking ball. You'll see a couple of them, and then you'll also see a very good fastball. He topped out at 95 miles per hour tonight. Hit Collier.
Wow.
That's hard to hit.
Yeah, it is. You get that coming out of the pen. That's impressive. Speaking of out of the pen, here is Ugueth Urbina. He will check in now and pitch the 9th.
Well, they feel like this is the best opportunity for them to win this game by bringing him in to the top half of the 9th inning. He may pitch just 1 inning, or he may pitch 2 innings, depending on whether the Tigers score in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
So Collier has turned in 2 very good innings, a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings, and his line tonight is very good. And he gives way to Urbina. And Damian Miller will lead things off against Urbina.
I think Urbina looked the best that I had seen him all year long on Sunday afternoon when he got that save in Texas. He appears to be in pretty good shape now.
Starting to round into form physically, I think.
First 5 or 6 times took the mound, it was like spring training for him because he had such a late start, but his arm's starting to get a little stronger.
Miller has faced him only once. He has struck out against him in that only at bat. Urbina now has pitched in his 4th consecutive game. Oogie told the Tigers, Alan Trammell, that he's a guy that needs a lot of work. He prefers to pitch on multiple days and doesn't like to go too long without getting into a game.
He got 2 saves and a loss in that Texas series.
Threw that one by Miller. Sunday against the Texas Rangers. 1 inning through only 9 pitches. He picked up the save. 1-2 on Damian Miller. The 7, 8, 9 men due up here in the ninth for the A's. Miller is 0 for 3. And Urbina would love to keep him hitless. Two.
Pretty good breaking ball right there. He started that ball right at Damian Miller. Miller gave up on it, but the ball was a little inside. Most times when guys start their breaking balls, they start them down the middle and watch them carry to the outside part of the plate.
Changeup. Struck him out.
Big out. They're all big now.
Well, we talked about how the Tigers' pen has struggled this year, but they've been pretty good tonight. Jan came in the 6th, did well. So did Collier, and now Urbina gets the first man he faces. And a strike on Mark McLemore. Called up from AAA Sacramento today. He was serving a rehab down there, had some knee surgery, was let go spring training by the Orioles. A's trying to pick up some veteran leadership.
They got it in McLemore. He would have been a nice fit in Baltimore as well had he not gotten hurt in spring training.
0-2 on McLemore. Just missed it outside. Maybe a touch off the plate. There's no doubt about that. A swing and a miss. McLemore goes down, and Urbina has 2 strikeouts.
The velocity on Urbina's fastball is starting to increase. That last one at 93. His first few outings for the Tigers, he was right around 88 to 90, but as we mentioned, he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable out there. The arm strength is starting to come back, as well as the stamina.
How about that Tigers pen tonight? They came in with an ERA of over 5 and haven't given up a run. One strike on Bobby Crosby. The one thing that has plagued Crosby, and in fact the A's team as a whole, are the strikeouts this year. Crosby has already struck out 32 times this season. And the A's lead the American League in strikeouts as a team with 237. 8 tonight. That's back this way. 1-2. And Urbina now has Crosby set up. Can he strike out the side here? Laying down the signals, ahead 1-2. Fastball away is the call.
He wants the good fastball right here, the four-seam fastball.
No, he just got a piece of it, and the home plate umpire, Jeff Kellogg, took the brunt of that. That looked kind of scary initially. Kellogg had his bell rung. It'll still hurt when it catches you flush on the mask like that. Kevin Rand, the Tigers trainer, is out to make sure he's all right. You see Kellogg motioning to the left cheek. staggered him a little bit. Sometimes those foul balls will find their way through the catcher and to the umpire. Kellogg may have been seeing double for a moment, but he tells Pudge he's all right. Again, the 1-2. Hit hard into left and a base hit. So Crosby keeps it going with a 2-out single. That'll bring up the top of the order now. Marcotte. By the way, Jeff Kellogg is a Michiganian. He's from Coldwater, Michigan.
Coldwater.
Tonight's home plate umpire. There's a ball outside on Katse. Hasn't had a whole lot of success against Urbina. 0 for 5. Katse has doubled in a run tonight. That was back in the 5th inning. Fly ball hit well into right field, but coming on is Monroe, and this ball will land foul. There's a breeze that is blowing out to the right field corner, and that seemed to get caught up in that wind, and it was being pulled away from Monroe. One ball, one strike. Katse. Urbina struck out the first 2 hitters. Crosby, the number 9 man, keeps it going with a base hit.
Even though this A's team does not run, you will not catch Pudge off guard. He was ready to fire that ball down to second base.
Now, for teams that don't run a whole lot, or a team that doesn't run a whole lot, they run even less. Pudge behind the plate. Crosby trying to get the best lead he can. That one just missed. I don't know. Pudge held it there. He wanted the strike call, didn't get it.
Hit the glove.
It was close. Same spot, and he lost him, and all of a sudden now the go-ahead run moves into scoring position to second base. Urbina has given up a single and a walk. And what looked to be a comfortable inning for Alan Trammell, Kirk Gibson has now become a little bit more stressful. Neither team has scored in this one since the 6th inning when the A's tied it up at 4. Eric Burns in search of his first hit. Missed it outside, 1-0. Here's a guy that has had some success against Urbina, 2 for 4 with a long ball. Outside again. Sudden Urbina having trouble finding the strike zone. 2-0. Mentioned this is the 4th consecutive outing that Urbina has been involved in.
Well, if he decides to throw Burns a fastball here, he needs to make sure he locates it and keeps the ball down. Burns is a very aggressive hitter, especially in fastball counts.
Two and one. Hit that one down, and he had Burns reaching.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good 2-0 swing.
This becomes a critical hitter for Urbina because you've got Chavez, who is due next, the left-handed stick. off this man, bring it back into the dugout, try and win it in the bottom of the ninth. The 2-1. 2-2 now on Eric Burns.
He has thrown him a couple of well-located fastballs on the outside part of the plate with pretty good velocity. Burns couldn't catch up to either one of them.
That well-located fastball is, you always mention, Ron, the best pitch in baseball. You can hit your spots with a fastball, you can have success. Crowd's starting to get into it now, hoping Urbina can slam the door here. He just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Both these teams with identical records. 15 wins, 16 losses. Both teams trying to get back to 500.
And again, the crowd starting to make some noise now. 2-2 on Eric Burns. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Urbina strikes out the side, and the A's will strand two. When he needed it the most, Urbina gets the strikeout. Let's go to the bottom of the ninth.
For a tie here, bottom half of the ninth inning. And while we have a moment, let me tell you that this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
Well, it's the bottom of the ninth, and the Tigers looking for a walk-off win. And they will face a new pitcher out of the Oakland Pens, left-hander Ricardo Rincon. 13th appearance out of the Athletics pen, and Bobby Higginson leads it off. And a strike is called on Higginson. 0-1. Higginson, Norton, and then Inge are due up. Well, on May 11th, 2001, he had his first career walk-off home run. And his only one. How about celebrating that with another tonight? Well, he's behind in the count, 0-2. Higginson 1 for 3, single and a run scored. Just missed the outside corner. Higginson lays off.
Rincon's not a hard thrower. Fastball will touch 88 for the most part. Lots of soft stuff. The breaking ball, he'll add and subtract with it. He'll also do the same with the changeup.
He got him looking. Now the outside corner. And you can tell by the reaction, Higginson says, I don't think so. Not a very animated discussion.
Borderline.
Miller held it there a good long time to give Kellogg a good look. Here's Greg Norton. On Norton, who is 1 for 3. He's fanned a couple times, but has scored a run. Hitless in his career against Rincon, 0 for 3. Boy, Rincon is coming out throwing strikes. He's ahead of his second consecutive hitter now, 0-2.
I don't think he's thrown a pitch that has been the same velocity. Fastball, he's taking some off, putting some on. Same thing with the breaking ball. Pretty deceptive when he's on.
Ground ball hit to the shortstop. Crosby gobbles it up. 2 up, 2 down for the Tigers in the ninth. Well, that'll bring up Brandon Inge. Inge has an RBI single tonight. He was part of that 3-run fifth inning, the big inning tonight for the Tigers. Rincon missing outside, 1-0. Brandon now with a total of 17 driven in this year. Of course, he has those 2 grand slams. Toward left field. That ball is hooking, and that ball is foul. Inge thought he had himself an extra base hit. So did Tram.
You can read Tram's lips saying, "Stay fair, stay fair."
1-1 on Inge. Missed it outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Zito started for the A's. Bradford and now Rincon. Out of Veracruz, Mexico is Rincon. That's right back up the middle into center field. It's another hit for Brandon Inge, a 2-out single.
That's almost the approach that you have to have against a guy like Rincon, who's not going to wow you with his fastball. You can't try to pull him. You have to simply try to take him right back up the middle. And this is literally right back up the middle. Through the wishes.
Inge just got a little bit of speed. You run him here?
You may want to gamble here, but maybe if Sanchez falls behind, 2 strikes, because if he gets thrown out, and you've got Sanchez leading off the next half inning.
0-1 on Alex.
But Inge is not a base stealer per se. He wouldn't bunt again, would he?
Wouldn't put it past him. I don't care how many outs. Rincon misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex has been so good with runners on. 375. Here's the bunt. Good one. Third base side. Rincon wheels and throws late. He did it again.
When's the last time you saw a guy get 3 bunt hits in a game? It's really amazing because Oakland knows that he has the ability to bunt at any point in time, and yet he gets it down and places it perfectly and gets another nod. I mean, this is just concentration. The key here is he stays in the batter's box, and he puts it where he wants it. Rincon jumped off the mound. It's still a bang-bang play, but you can't get it. Look at Rincon. No chance.
Well, if you're Rincon, you just can't get to it any quicker. You can't play it any better. And now 12 bunt hits for Sanchez. 3 of them tonight. Oh, you bet he's happy. Rally cap. They've got him going tonight.
They got it going too.
Here is Vina. Looking for the 2-out hit to win it for the Tigers.
Playing very shallow in left field. Coxey playing very shallow in center field. Anything hit to them, Inge is really going to have to get on his horse to score. Both guys have pretty good arms in the outfield.
Line drive, foul. Ooh, he hooked it. Well, this would be a great time to get Vina going offensively. Fernando is 0 for 3 tonight. Walked his first time up.
Damian Miller didn't like that last pitch. A little hanging breaking ball inside. We're going to talk about it a little bit.
Well, you know that Rincon wants to get this guy here because you've got Pudge on deck. And that's the last guy you want to face with the game on the line.
He wouldn't face Pudge, I don't think. They've got somebody in their bullpen they're trying to heat up in a hurry.
4 for 9 tonight of the Tigers have met in scoring position. Two balls and 1 strike on Vina. The Tigers took 2 out of 3 from Texas. They would love to start this homestand with a win against the A's and continue to beat some of the West Division teams that they struggled so mightily against last year. Bouncing ball hit to the shortstop. Crosby has it. He'll go the short way, and the rally fizzles. So the Tigers get 2 aboard, but they strand a pair, and we'll go extra innings tonight from Comerica. It's a 4-4 ball game. We're all tied at 4 runs apiece through 9 innings at Comerica Park. And don't forget, every Wednesday is McDonald's Kid Crazy Wednesday. Right here at the ballpark, kids 14 and under get a $15 mezzanine ticket for just $7 every Wednesday all season long. Call now at 248-25-TIGER. Well, the Tigers had a chance in the bottom of the 9th, but the A's get it to the 10th inning, and they will face a new Tigers pitcher. In a 4-4 tie. And Jamie Walker is the man out of the bullpen.
Already the 15th time he has been on this year. Get that rubber arm. You love to have guys like Jamie Walker on your squad.
Eric Chavez will lead things off. Walker's going to have to navigate his way through the meat of the Oakland lineup. Chavez, Dye, and Durazo, 3, 4, and 5. That's hit hard to the second baseman. Vina stays with it nicely. 1 away.
You know, those are tough plays. You get a good hop, which is what you want, but you really don't know whether you want to turn your glove underneath or you want to turn your glove the other way when the ball's that high.
You don't have much time to figure that out.
You don't. I mean, you want this ball. I mean, he's indecisive there, and he ends up catching this ball with the glove underneath, where really he could have turned it the other way, and it would have been a much easier play for him.
Here's Jermaine Dye, who has homered in this one a long time ago, way back in the 2nd. It's 0 for 1 against Jamie Walker in his career. Talk about Walker having that rubber arm. He appeared in a career high 78 games last year out of the Tigers pen. That is grounded foul. That had extra bases written all over it. Inge just could not get there.
Dye likes to take the soft stuff that's away from him and hook it back to the pull field. He did that earlier in the game. That home run you were talking about, although it wasn't a changeup or a breaking ball, it was a fastball that was away from him, that he was somehow able to get out there and take those long arms and hit a home run with.
Where was that? Walker wanted that pitch, and Kellogg didn't give it to him.
That's close enough to be called a strike. It really is. Same pitch.
3-2. Two close pitches there. Walker, originally part of the Houston Astros organization, made his big league debut with Kansas City. Pitched a couple of years for the Royals, and then came to Detroit in 2002. So Dye giving Walker a battle. Well, they're hopeful now that Jermaine Dye being healthy will provide them with a big offensive season. And they will need it with a lot of the offense they have lost the past couple of years. That's a big rip, and again, just barely stays alive.
Yeah, they may want to try something else. He was all over that fastball. That's a big swing.
This will be the 9th pitch that Walker will throw to Jermaine Dye. Swing and a miss. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch to Jermaine Dye. First and foremost, you've got to be careful. You start out by showing him away, backdoor breaking ball, and now you start pounding him on the inside part of the plate. 4 straight pitches, they pounded him in. Jeff Kellogg would not give him the call. Finally, you go back to some soft stuff to get the strikeout.
And now number 2. Here is Durazo. Rubio tonight 1 for 4. That's 8 strikeouts now for Tigers relievers.
You got to be careful with Durazo. He has no problem hitting left-handed pitching.
Little tap. Tough play. Walker has plenty of time and throws him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Jamie Walker. Nicely done by the Tigers lefty. Let's go to the bottom of the 10th. A-Rod lead it off. Bottom of the 10th inning now. It's a 4-4 ball game. As we work overtime tonight at Comerica Park, 25 hits between these two teams. And back to the pen go the Oakland Athletics. Justin Dukeshire is in.
Dukeshire, huh? That's a tongue twister, that name, Mario, but you nailed it. He's got a nice earned run average, 188, 14 innings pitched. He appears to have been the most effective guy of their bullpen, judging by some of the numbers that the other guys have come into the game with.
Here's Pudge Rodriguez. Pudge, White, and Guillen due up here in the 10th. A couple of hits tonight for Pudge.
He's never faced. How do you say his name again?
Give it a shot. Dukeshire.
Dukeshire. So more than likely he'll take one.
And he does, and it floats in for a strike 0-1. You know, these two pens have been outstanding tonight. Talk about how they have been much maligned all season long. The Tigers have 5 scoreless innings out of their bullpen. Again, asked for a whole lot more than that. 8 strikeouts and only 2 hits.
You're Ken Maka on the A's side, and you're Trammell on the Tigers side. It's a welcome sight to see your bullpens come in and pitch effectively.
1-2 now on Pudge Rodriguez.
Dukeshire's got a pretty good breaking ball. I can see that already after he's throwing Pudge. A couple of them, and he's throwing them at different speeds.
Two and 2. 27 RBIs now for Pudge. Came in tied for the league lead in RBIs. Back, and he will go to the edge of the track to haul it in.
Ball's not carrying very well tonight. I mean, it was earlier in the game when it was a little warmer out. A couple of balls to left field carry out of here, but where the ball normally carries to right field, it is not at all. But you see the flag, the wind blowing straight in.
Yeah, that wind has been a bit of a factor tonight. So Rondell White now with 1 out. Breaking ball drops in.
He likes that breaking ball. He's going to hang one to somebody because he's throwing a whole bunch of them. You don't want to hang one to him.
strikeout Rondell.
That fastball, just a show-me fastball to get Rondell thinking about something else other than the breaking ball, and more than likely Dukeshire will come right back with something off speed. That's the pitch he appears to have the most confidence in.
Down the middle it came. 1-2.
Nice little slider. Rondell's looking for that breaking ball.
Miller down to block it. Tigers had not scored since getting 3 in the 5th inning, so the Oakland pen has been equally impressive. Barry Zito went 7 full tonight. White stays alive. Tigers with a win move back up to the 500 mark. In fact, both of these teams came in at 15 and 16. Carlos Guillen waiting on deck. Did he go around? He held up. Doug Eddings at first base. 3-2 now on White. So that'll bring up Carlos Guillen. Carlos credited with an infield single back in the 8th inning. He's hit in 5 in a row now, and that average at a solid .319. Can't find much wrong with his game these days. Dukeshire missing outside, 1-0.
You're wondering what Allen may do with Monroe, who's in the on-deck circle, should Guillen get on base.
Fly ball into left field. Eric Burns. And a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Dukeshire. So the bullpens continue to battle tonight. Let's go to the 11th. Let's go to the 11th now. 4-4 ball game at Comerica Park. Don't forget, coming up after the game, Detroit Sports Report, complete coverage of the Tigers and A's, and also Game 4, the Pistons-Nets series. Coverage of that as well. DSR coming up after the game. So the A's bat in the 11th. And Scott Hatteberg leads it off against Jamie Walker. Out there for his 2nd inning of work. Jamie had a 1-2-3-10. Big night for Hatteberg with 3 hits. Walker misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jamie took over for Urbina, who pitched the 9th inning. That's hammered to the gap in right center field. It's trouble. It's down. It's cut off by Monroe, and he's going to hold Hatteberg to a single. That's a heck of a play there by Craig Monroe. Looked like that was extra bases from the get-go.
So he got a pretty good jump on there, and he gets over and cuts it off, and then he has to make a very strong throw into second base, and he did all of that. If you're Ken Maka, I'm wondering if you sacrifice here.
Well, you got to start to think about it.
He had that situation earlier in the game, and Damian Miller was up. There was runners on first and second, and he didn't bunt Damian Miller, and there was nobody out at the time. And Miller struck out. And then McLemore got a base hit, and Crosby didn't do a double play to end the inning, and they only scored 1 run in that inning.
Shows sacrifice and lays it down foul. Boy, look at Pudge, man, coming up throwing.
Quick like a cat.
Just in case he called it a fair ball.
They don't bunt very often, but when they find themselves in a situation like tonight, this is the play that you would like to see. And Miller's a guy that can't handle the bat.
The A's have sacrificed only once this year. It's just not a big part of their game plan.
Pudge's right arm ought to be illegal.
There's another bunt. This one is a foul ball again. Pudge comes up throwing again. He's going to argue this one.
Yeah.
Oh, he and Walker are getting into it now with home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg. Here comes Tran.
The Tran needs to make sure he gets Pudge out of the way. Tran is trying to get Jeff Kellogg to get some help. But Jeff is like, I saw this. I don't need to get any help.
Might be a better angle here for us to tell.
It's a foul ball.
That's a foul ball. I think that's even close, actually. So Miller is unable to lay down the bunt. He had a couple of shots at it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, it's little things like the basics of bunting that can help you win games, and they fail to get the man in a scoring position.
Brandon Inge at third base could back up a couple of steps.
Little looper into right. It's sinking. Monroe, the diving play. Craig Monroe. He saves a base hit.
Sorry about that, Mario. He hadn't played perfectly.
Well, that could have been the start of a big inning.
He was playing awfully shallow to begin with. Boy, he comes in and makes a nifty grab.
Pretty good plays by Monroe. Holding Hatteberg to a single and now taking a hit away from Miller. And Bobby Kelty will bat for Mark McLemore. Higgy, a pretty good right fielder in his own right, is watching Monroe make some plays here when it counts. Kelty's been a good pinch hitter in his career, .326. It is a hard thing to do to step off the bench cold and pick up a base hit. He has been very good at it. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Two now on Bobby Kelty.
You brought it up earlier, Mario, the fact that this Oakland team does not sacrifice very often. They came to the game with just 1 sacrifice bunt. Last in the majors, and they got themselves in that situation where they needed to get it down, and they didn't do it.
And they couldn't do it. High fly ball into left field. Rondell White. 2 gone. Single remains at first base.
That was such a huge play by Craig Monroe, getting over into that gap to cut off that single, which it ended up being by Hatteberg. I mean, I thought that was a double when it left his bat.
Well, it's a great pick-me-up for Monroe because he has had his struggles defensively this year. He's made some plays. Now a 2-out chance for Bobby Crosby. Each team with 13 hits.
You know, Crosby came into this game hitting a bucket and change, but he has been a thorn in the Tigers' side. He's been on base 3 to 4 times.
High fly ball, right center field. Sanchez on the run, has room, and the side retired. So as we go to the bottom of the 11th, some big-time plays from Craig Monroe in right field. Keeps this a 4-4 ball game. Bottom Bottom of the 11th inning, 4-4 tie, and Craig Monroe greeted by his teammates after a big defensive inning. He has come up big late in the game, and so has the bullpen. They have lowered their ERA to under 5 now, and look at what the Tigers have done out of the pen this evening.
Only 1 walk in 6 innings out of their bullpen. That's outstanding.
Carlos Pena will pinch hit now for Craig Monroe. They want the lefty bat off the bench. And as a pinch hitter lifetime, Pena 3 out of 8. Trying to get it going in the bottom of the 11th. So Craig Monroe turns in a fine evening tonight. Gives way now to Pena, the pinch hitter.
This had to be somewhat of a difficult decision for Alan Trammell. The fact that Bobby Higginson is the designated hitter, so you can't put him into the outfield. You've got Brandon Inge, who's playing third base, but he's never played right field. So it will be interesting to see who plays right field this next half inning.
2 balls and 1 strike on Pena.
The reason why I say Brandon Inge is because you could put Norton over at third base.
Big rip for Carlos. 2-2.
But hopefully none of that will matter.
Yeah, Mario. How about that? How about we don't even worry about that till we get there?
This could be an at-bat that sort of jump-starts Pena as well. A lot of times when you're sitting on the bench for 9 or 10 innings and you're scuffling a little bit from an offensive standpoint, well, you don't have a lot of time to think about what you're going to do. A lot of times you turn in a pretty good at-bat.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Carlos Pena. We have not had a run in this ball game since the 6th inning. Bobby Higginson waiting his turn in the on-deck circle. Hit hard to right field, fair ball. It's a base hit. Pena takes the turn. He'll hold up. It's a leadoff single. And the Tigers have the winning run aboard. Maybe that will jumpstart it.
You don't run Omar Infante here, do you? It's a good at-bat by Pena. Outstanding at-bat.
Looks like Pena's going to run for himself.
Yep.
I think managers, when they get into extra innings like this, really get leery about going deep into that bench.
Yes, because you never know how long you're going to play.
Wasting guys.
Is Bobby Bunton here?
Let's find out.
So.
He is. We saw the inability of Miller to lay down a bunt, which hurt the A's in the top of this inning. They got the leadoff single. Now we'll see if the Tigers can execute.
But just because he was bunting on that first one doesn't necessarily mean he's going to bunt on this second one.
He shows bunt again and lays down a pretty good one. It'll get the job done. The sacrifice by Higginson, winning run to second base.
Now your wheels have to start turning if you're Ken Maka, because the guy sitting in the batter's box right now, Greg Norton, excuse me. Ken Norton was the boxer. I'm ready to punch you, Mario. Greg Norton. They got an open base here. They'll walk him.
So Norton will not get a chance.
I'm calling
the force.
I'm calling people Ken Norton, and you calling people A-Rod. What is the world coming to?
And Brandon Inge lurking on deck.
Well, you got Eric Munson now, who's a left-handed batter who's struggling a little bit now, but you never know. This is why number 3 down there gets paid the big bucks. Chris Spire, the bench coach. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, looking over some charts. It's amazing how much preparation goes in to what these guys do on a nightly basis. Really, it really is.
Well, there's the intentional walk that'll put 2 aboard now. And Brandon Inge will bat. And a chance to win it for the Tigers. 2 singles and an RBI tonight. number 9 spot has been outstanding for the Tigers this year. 24 RBIs and leads all of Major League Baseball. Swing and a miss. Not a good swing there by Brandon. 1-1.
They've been staying away from Brandon all night long. His last time up, he realized that, and he got him a base hit right back up the middle.
Two now. Inge with 17 RBIs trying to knock home Carlos Pena at second base. Greg Norton the runner at first. Dukeshire came on in the 10th. He's ahead of Inge. Ground ball to third. Chavez to second one. No relay. Good hard slide by Norton. Nice job at second base.
That could be a game-winning slide right there. Norton had a huge lead over at first base, and he had one thing on his mind, and that was to not allow this double play to be turned. I mean, he gets a great break, and he's all down there. I mean, nothing you can do here. It's a nice feed by Chavez. Very nice feed, but he's all over second base.
Good, hard, clean slide. Here comes Sanchez. He's butted his way on 3 times already tonight. The first player since '78. 3 bunt singles. Richie Hebner. It's been a while.
Take a look at their infield. Over at third base, Chavez 4 or 5 feet in front of the bag, and the same thing on the other side, Hatterberg. And your middle infielders are also drawn in. A ground ball to the left or right of many of these guys, and the Tigers go home a winner here.
Little looper to second base, and caught by Scutaro to retire the side. So the Tigers again threatened, but they're turned away, and we go to the 12th 4-4 game. Well, we go to the 12th inning in a 4-4 ball game now. And Brandon Inge, as the Tigers move around their defense, is now in right field. So Inge will move from third to right. Norton goes from first to third, and Pena stays in the game. And he will play first base. So add right field to the resume now of Brandon Inge. And Jamie Walker is out there for another inning of work. This will be his 3rd inning. Kotsay has a couple of hits. Top of the order for the A's. Oh, 0-2 now on Kotsay. Jamie Walker has been outstanding tonight. So has the entire Tigers bullpen. Swing and a miss. Kotsay is out of there. 1 gone.
I think Kotsay's eyes got a little big after seeing that breaking ball that was hanging. He tried to hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, a job well done by Jamie Walker, and he'll give way. And the right-hander Al Levine now will come on out of the Tigers bullpen. So Walker gets a round of applause. Pitching change from Comerica, still tied at 4. Well, Jamie Walker is out of the ballgame now after a job well done in a 4-4 game. Here are his numbers tonight, and look what he's done to his ERA. Good work. It's at 1.13, and there's the new pitcher on now for the Tigers. Right-hander Al Levine is in.
Al struggled the last time he pitched for the Tigers. He pitched in that 5th inning of that game in Texas and did not fare very well. And you know, he'd been chomping at the bit to get back out there. Earned run average is very, very high. but Levine is much better than he has pitched so far this year.
Got a pinch hitter now. Billy McMillan will bat for Burns.
Former Tiger.
Yeah.
Billy McMillan.
He takes outside from Levine.
I coached Billy a couple of years in the minor league.
Did you?
He was with the Florida Marlins. Very good hitter. Played collegiately at Clemson University.
A couple of pinch hits this year as he takes down low. 2-0 now on McMillan.
He's always been a guy that could take some pitches, makes a lot of contact. He's the kind of guy that Oakland likes. Doesn't strike out very often.
Outside and low, 3-0 now. Levine trying to uphold what the bullpen has done tonight. McMillan played for the Tigers in 2000 and 2001. He broke in with Florida originally, then Philadelphia, and then Detroit and Oakland. High, towering fly ball. Shallow right field. Sanchez and Inge who wants it. Sanchez has to come a long way to get to that one.
This is the first time Inge has played right field, and believe it or not, they're quite different, left field and right field. The ball comes off the bat differently, and he has never been over there. That's why it's good to see Sanchez take charge on this fly ball. You, the center fielder, you're the captain out there. You take anything you can get to.
Well, and the wind is really making it even more tricky out there in right center. It has been a strong wind tonight as Eric Chavez bats with 2 outs. And again, Levine falls behind. 2 balls and no strikes on Chavez. Only 1 hit tonight. Infield playing him to pull.
Be careful here. He may be swinging. But then again, obviously, they're not giving him anything to hit.
Yeah, Pudge is way out the plate, saying don't even try it. And Chavez gets the walk. So the go-ahead run is on, and they'll take their chances now with Jermaine Dye.
And that would be that unintentional, intentional base on ball to get to the right-hander Dye. But you've got to make some quality pitches to Jermaine.
Dye is homer tonight. That came against Jason Johnson way back in the 2nd. They bust him inside as he buckles out of the way. 1-0. Levine getting Dye to move his feet, become less comfortable at home plate. There's a strike. 1-1.
Good location with this slider.
Dye now with 8 home runs. He is 4th in the American League. Troy Gloss of the Angels leads the way with 10, and Chavez has 9. Just missed the outside corner. 3-2. And the Tigers bench is chirping a little bit at Jeff Kellogg. A little bit of run on that fastball, not enough. Broken bat roller towards short. Guillen has it. Gobbles it up and throws him out, and the side retired. So Levine does the job out of the pen. We go to the bottom of the 12th. All tied at 4. All right, Rod, thanks very much. Fernando Vina will lead it off in the bottom of the 12th for the Tigers. As Justin Dukeshire goes back out for another inning of work, it'll be Vina, Pudge, and then White 2, 3, and 4 in the Tigers lineup. This would be a good spot to win it. That's rifled foul down that right field line as it rattles around the seats. 0-2 on Vigna. Showing bunt and lays it foul, and that's going to be it. He tried to bunt his way on with 2 strikes, and he is a strikeout victim.
It's a gutsy play right there. We talked about that the other day, Mario, when we were in Texas. The fact that there's not a lot of guys that attempt to bunt when they got 2 strikes on them. But the fact that Vigna is scuffling a little bit, he's trying to do anything possible to help his team win, and that is not a bad play. If he's fortunate enough to get that ball down, it's a base hit. No question about it. I don't mind that one bit.
Here's Pudge now. Well, for Pudge tonight, RBI single. That was in the 5th inning. 2 hits total. .355 average. Dukeshire missing outside. 2-0.
You know, in the infield, Eric Chavez, the third baseman, is hugging the line, playing no doubles depth, which means nothing will be hit down that line. But I'm kind of surprised that he's playing on the line. You see how close he is. A lot of managers like to employ this type of situation or this type of defense in this situation. But you got Kotze in center field who's playing awfully shallow. He can get burned very easily.
There's a strike called. 3-1 on Pudge. He's taking all the way. Off the end of the bat, hit slowly towards second base. Guitarro has it and throws him out. There are 2 gone. And let's go to Mickey York in the studio now. The Piston update. Mickey.
All right, Mario, thank you very much. Pistons lose in New Jersey tonight, 94-79. Coming up after the Tigers game, complete post-game coverage. Marcus Johnson, Ryan Field, Greg Kelser, and myself will have the game covered. Mario, back to you.
Thanks, Mick. We look forward to that. Here there are 2 outs now in the 12th inning. And it's up to Rondell White. Rondell, a couple of singles, had an infield hit way back in the 1st, which drove in a run. And these 2 bullpens have just absolutely taken over this ball game. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rondell, we've talked about how well the Tigers pen has pitched tonight. Likewise, ditto for the A's. Both of these teams struggling out of the pen this year. That almost came in the booth.
Where you going?
Not to catch it, that's for sure. Here I am laughing at you all night long.
Exactly. That's what you get.
The first chance I get, I watched it. Down goes White. 1, 2, 3. Go the Tigers in the 12th to go to the 13th inning. 4-4 game. Well, through 12 innings, we're still tied at 4 runs apiece. 4 runs on 13 hits for the A's. Tigers have 14 hits in this ballgame. Neither team has scored since the 6th, and Alabine back to work in the 13th. And he'll face Rubio Durazo.
He needs to be very, very careful with Durazo. Durazo has big power to the pull field. So if you're Levine in this situation, you may want to stay away from him. Make him hit the ball to center field. Make him hit the ball to the left field. Although he can reach the seats in left field, not as likely he'll go that direction as he will to right field.
Levine entered the ballgame in the 12th inning, got a fly ball off the bat of the pinch hitter McMillan. He walked Chavez, basically just pitching around him, and then he got Dye to ground out.
The Tigers defenders in the infield really over-exaggerate the way that they play the left-handed hitters in the Oakland A's lineup.
That's a little looper back short on the base hit over the head of the shortstop. Carlos Guillen, leadoff man, is aboard for Oakland. Durazo gets a single. The A's are very used to playing extra inning games this year. In fact, they had a 14-inning game against Seattle back in April. They played a couple of 13-inning games. This is the first time the Tigers have gone beyond 10 innings. Here's Scott Hatteberg now.
And Brandon Norton is at third base now, expecting the bunt, but more than likely they won't try it again.
No sign of it. They were unable to get the bunt down with Miller in the 11th inning after the leadoff single.
If it's something that you don't preach, and then you don't need to put it on.
There's Norton on the grass just in case. And a strike call. 1-1.
If you're Pena over at first base because Durazo doesn't run, you've got the left-handed batting Hatteberg in the batter's box. I mean, you may even want to entertain the thought of playing right behind him, which would give you a little bit more mobility to make a play should the ball come down there.
And there are some teams that will even play in front of the runner off the bag with that first baseman in front of the runner with a left-handed hitter at the plate to try and cut down that area defensively. Two and two now on Hatteberg.
Hatteberg did not like this call. And they may be a tad down.
He's had himself a 4-hit night this evening.
And no wonder why he's not bunting.
Yeah, he's had 3 singles, an RBI, and a double. He's probably feel they have a better shot. Just let him swing away. Missed it outside. 3-2 on Hatteberg.
He stayed away from him with all 5 pitches that he has thrown. This would be risky if he wanted to go inside, but more than likely he could get him out if he went in there.
Runner goes in the air toward left field. Rondell White is there, and Durazo will retreat.
Well, let's take a look at how Levine worked to Hatteberg, who has been their hottest hitter all night long. Everything is away, 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 which is exactly what you want to do. If Hatteberg's going to win this game for the A's, you got to make him hit the ball the opposite way eventually. That's exactly what Levine makes him do, the opposite way. He doesn't have enough power to find the seats in that direction.
Bouncer up the middle. Guillen takes it himself at second. That is a Tigers double play.
What happens when you don't sacrifice bunt, boy?
We'll go to the bottom of the 13th inning. Tigers turn 2 again. Still tied at 4. Well, the kids are up late tonight as we go to the bottom of the 13th inning. And that youngster is doing well tonight. Some great Tigers defense this evening. Craig Norton with a diving play earlier in the game. Pudge Rodriguez chased the ball down and threw a runner out at first base on a terrific play to close out a frame. And the Tigers tonight have also turned 4 double plays. And their defense has kept them in this game and given them an opportunity to win it. The Tigers now have turned 42 to lead the American League. Well, here is Carlos Guillen to lead things off. Guillen, Pena, and Higginson due up. One ball and no strikes. Each team with 14 hits in this one. Dukeshire working his 3rd inning tonight. He's been called out to work a little overtime this evening. And if we're not careful, it might turn into this morning. Strike call to the outer edge. 1-2 on Guillen. Tapper back to the mound. Dukeshire will make this play. We have seen in this game, Rod, how philosophies can sometimes, I don't want to say take you out of a chance to win a ball game, but certainly the A's do not have bunt as part of their philosophy. And twice in extra innings tonight, they've had an opportunity to move a runner up, and both times it has backfired.
Yeah, and you wonder if this is something that will continue throughout the entire season. I mean, as a player, I can tell you, I mean, the A's know what their philosophy is, but, I mean, late in the game, if there's a runner on first base and that runner doesn't have a whole lot of speed, the bunt you can use to get you on.
That's a foul ball off the bat of Pena. Well, only one sacrifice all season long for the Athletics, dead last in the American League.
They don't believe in giving away outs, and they simply feel like the bunt, the sacrifice bunt, you're giving away an out. They want to make sure they keep pressure on the defense, and they feel like by them swinging the bats the way that they do when they're hot is one way to do that.
You can also argue that getting a guy to second base is another way of keeping pressure on the defense. Dukeshire.
And he's really been getting it done with just two pitches. I mean, he's got a fastball, and he's got a real good breaking ball. He throws at a couple different speeds. It's almost like a drop ball. It comes straight up to the plate, and like it falls off a table.
Just can't say enough about these bullpens tonight. They have gone at each other and matched each other inning for inning. The A's got a run in the 6th inning tonight. That made it 4-4. It's been that way since. One ball and 2 strikes now on Carlos Pena, who came on as a pinch hitter to start the 11th inning. He got a base hit. They sacrificed him to second, but the Tigers were unable to score him. One and 2 on Pena. Did not get the start tonight with Barry Zito starting. Higginson is waiting on deck. He was one of the few left-handers that did start tonight against Zito. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. A high fastball, and down goes Pena.
He's taking a page out of Barry Zito's book, who started this game. Good breaking balls, elevated fastballs out of the strike zone.
Boy, the bullpens have been going at it tonight, haven't they?
Well, you win championships with a good bullpen.
Bobby Higginson. Single and a sacrifice tonight. There's that good breaking ball, and it's in for a strike. 1-1. One and 2 now on Higginson. It was Higginson that dropped down that sacrifice in the 11th inning after Pena led off with a single. You don't see Bobby bunt all that often, but he laid down a beauty. The Tigers have had the better opportunities in extra innings or late in the game. Two and 2. High 3-2. Greg Norton waiting on deck. Fly ball. Medium depth and left. McMillan is under it. And the Tigers go 1-2-3. So Dukeshire slams the door again. Let's go to the 14th. 14th inning on tap now in a 4-4 ball game as the Tigers and A's continue to battle it out in extra innings. Don't forget, after the game, the Detroit Sports Report's coming up. We'll have a recap of the proceedings here at Comerica and also a recap and all the information on the Pistons' loss in Game 4 to the Nets tonight. All that coming up on the Detroit Sports Report. Danny Patterson now is being called out, and he will make his 16th appearance out of the pen for the Tigers. ERA at over 6. So Danny trying to right the ship. Marco Scutaro is the first man he will face. Scutaro, Crosby, Kotze. So Patterson replacing Al Levine, who went 1 2/3 tonight. 2 balls and no strikes as we go to the 14th. Last year, the Tigers appeared in 2 games that went even longer. That 17-inning game on June 1st, that was when Roger Clemens was going for his 300th win. The Yankees eventually won. And they also played a 16-inning game in August against Texas last year.
I was really tired after that Roger Clemens game.
You were tired watching it at home in Arizona. That was the game you missed.
I can pick them, can I?
Yes, you can. Put the best of them. 2-1. That is driven foul down the left field line. 2-2 now on Scutaro.
Scutaro, he jumped all over that fastball, didn't he? 2 balls and 1 strike. He got it up there, and he yanked that bad boy foul.
I was really tired after that 17-inning game. Sitting on your couch,
listening to you and Mr. Ernie Harwell.
A beverage. That's grounded to third. Norton gobbles this one up. In time, out number 1. Norton started the game at first, then was moved over to third. He's played both of those positions equally well this year. 2 fine plays defensively at first base tonight. Here's Crosby. Crosby with a home run and a single in this one this evening. 0-1.
It's really encouraging to see the Tigers relievers come in and pitch so well tonight. It really is.
Well, after what they endured on the recent road trip, I would second that. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. 0-2.
And I don't know if it's just me, Mario, but it seems like since Robertson took the mound on Sunday, and that bulldog mentality he had in that game, Urbina got the save in that game, and then tonight, I mean, everybody's come out with a little bit more pep in their step, very aggressive with their fastballs all night long, all the Tiger pitchers.
Swing and a miss. Crosby sits down.
Nice little changeup there. Good arm speed.
Tigers relievers tonight now have put together 10 strikeouts. I told you this A's offense leads the American League in striking out, and they have added to their total in a big way tonight. Kotze batting with 2 outs. Back up the middle, Guillen ranging left. 1, 2, 3, they go. 9 shutout innings for Tigers relievers. Still tied at 4 runs apiece. Tigers batting in the bottom of the 14th inning at Comerica Park. It is a 4-4 ball game. Each team with 14 hits, and it has certainly been a battle of the pens. And for the Tigers, they've been outstanding.
How about them lowering that earned run average? Most important column, though, is the base on balls. Just a couple of base on balls in all those innings pitched.
And look at Bob Cluck.
You don't think he's ready to go?
The rally cap from the Tigers pitching coach as Greg Norton leads it off against Dukeshire.
Well, they can mark this one in the W column. When Bob Plunk puts the rally cap on, it's a W.
Well, I'm with you there. One ball, one strike. Oh, now it's starting to spread. There's Bonderman. There's Cornejo. The rally caps are out in force. When is the last time you saw a pitching coach wear a rally cap?
I don't think I've ever seen a pitching coach wear a rally cap.
Bob Plunk starting a trend. Now the fans following suit. Two and two. Oh, he's got the do-rag on backwards, does Dimitri. It's the rally rag. Fly ball, center field. Gonna be run down by Kase.
I'm begging.
Yes, you are. You've gotten to that point, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm begging now.
Not too proud to beg. Here's Inge. Well, it's been a pretty good night for Brandon. A couple of hits. See if he can get something going here. Up high, 1-0.
He's been doing the same thing to everybody, elevating the fastball and then coming back to slow breaking balls. And he's throwing his breaking ball at a couple different speeds. Kind of crafty out there.
Well, he has certainly earned his keep tonight. When you get to the extra innings, you hope that you can have someone that might give you quite a few. Because you just don't know how long these games will go. First time that Dukeshire has faced the Tigers in his career, and he's handled them pretty well. Two and two on Brandon Inge. Dukeshire, 26 years old. Born in South Dakota, living in Colleyville, Texas. Breaking ball that missed. Run it full at 3-2. Top of the order, waiting on deck, Alex Sanchez. Well, let's see. With Inge moving to right field tonight, he has now played 5 different positions. Here's a souvenir for a fan who has waited all night long. Right field becoming his 5th. Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball. 2 outs now. Tigers just can't do anything against Dukeshire. 4 strikeouts. Here's Sanchez. Off speed, it drops in. Good breaking ball, 0-1.
He's got a lot of confidence in that pitch. He feels like he can throw that breaking ball for a strike anytime he wants to.
Foul tip right into the glove, 0-2. Sanchez had a chance back in the 11th. The Tigers had runners at first and third. He popped up.
He's 0 for 3 when he has swung the bat tonight. He is 3 for 3 when he has bunted the baseball.
Ooh, that almost got the corner. 4 2/3 innings of relief now for Justin Dukeshire. Breaking ball just missed. A little bit low and outside. 2-2. Alex has bunt singles in the 1st, the 5th, and the 9th, and one of his bunt singles was an RBI hit. Tigers in this series against the A's facing Zito tonight. They will not face the 2 other pitchers in their top 3, Mulder and Hudson. Instead, they have Harden tomorrow night against Bonderman. High fly ball hit well into center field. Long run for Kotze. Still going back, and he runs it down. He picked the wrong part of the ballpark, and the Tigers go 1, 2, 3. Didn't work this inning. Let's see if it works in the bottom of the 15th. Still tied. Top of the 15th inning now, tied at 4 runs apiece. Justin Dukeshire has been outstanding in 5 innings in relief for the Oakland Athletics, but the Tigers bullpen has been equally as strong. Esteban Ya, Steve Collier, Mugi Urbina got the final out of the night. Jamie Walker, Al Levine. Danny Patterson.
You know, one thing all of them have had in common is the fact that they've been able to get ahead of these Oakland hitters. And when you're able to get ahead of good hitters, you can expand the strike zone and get them to chase some pitches.
Billy McMillan leads it off for the A's as we go to the 15th inning. McMillan came on as a pinch hitter back in the 12th. This is his 2nd at bat of the night. He's 0 for 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, and the former Tiger. Fly ball into center field. Long run for Sanchez. It'll hang up long enough, though, and Alex runs it down. 1 away.
Anything out in the center field with any air underneath it at all, because he has such great speed. Sanchez can run it down.
Well, you need a center fielder in this park with the expansive room out there that can just pick him up and lay him down and go run down baseballs, and that's what Sanchez will give you. Eric Chavez now with 1 away. This is one of those nights that can really attack your batting average if you don't pick up a couple of hits, because you're getting 5, 6, 7 at bats. And if you draw an 0-fer or a 1-fer, it'll hurt the average a little bit.
You'd at least like to mix in a walk or 2, but
yeah, exactly.
The pitchers have really been stingy.
Two and 1 now on Eric Chavez. His 9 home runs, 2nd best in the American League. He's 3 for 8 lifetime against Patterson. The A's back on March 18th locked him up, as we see the rally caps on the other side now. Taking a page from Bob Cluck's book. Ball 4. 1 out base runner. What is that? Is that the rally mask? Okay, that's another first. I've never seen that before.
We've been here a long time.
Here's Jermaine Dye.
You know, you're talking about the fact that the A's were able to sign Eric Chavez to a long-term deal, and they weren't able to do that with Tejada, nor were they able to do that with Jason Giambi.
Well, they're able to keep Chavez in their camp for a while now, to the tune of 6 years, $66 million.
Billy Beane said that Chavez was a guy that wanted to sign with the club. He said the other ones were willing to do it as well, but they weren't willing to give the team a hometown discount, if you can call $66 million a discount.
Oh, sure, why not? On the open market, that'll turn out to be a discount. Chavez obviously ecstatic to get a deal like that to remain in Oakland Athletic. I'm sure Ken Maka is happy to have him as well. Not have to worry about Chavez for the next few years. 2-1. Hey, here comes another one back this way.
You know, I think the fact that Chavez has a pretty good relationship with the general manager, Billy Beane. They all went to the same high school, Mount Carmel High School in San Diego. Billy Beane went to that school, and of course, Chavez went there, and Eric Munson also attended that same high school.
It's a basic powerhouse.
Looked like Chavez on first base was entertaining the thought of stealing, and you can see he's a little upset with himself. He felt like he had a pretty good jump, but Patterson held on to the baseball just long enough to where he would not take off. Take a look at him here. He's thinking about going. He's going, and he just held the baseball so he could not go. It's a nice job by Danny.
Another foul. And so Patterson now battling, Di.
You got a bullseye on your suit tonight.
There's 2 or 3 at least that have come back toward the booth. Di trying to time it here and put the ball in play with Durazo on deck. That's inside. Run at full now. 3-2. Let's see. Who are the starters without a hit tonight for the A's? Miller 0 for 6. Burns was 0 for 5 before departing, and Fernando Vino 0 for 5 for the Tigers. Hard ground ball foul. Dye homered back in the second. It was his 8th of the year. Jermaine missed 80 games last year with knee and shoulder problems. They felt that as a result, his bat speed really slowed down. But healthy again. Runner goes. Ground ball. Base hit left field. Chavez hits the bag. He's going to go to third. Here's the throw. Not in time. So they started the runner, and it pays off. Chavez goes all the way to third base. And now with only 1 out, the A's are in business.
That's one of the problems that you have when you run the count 2-3-2 and you allow a guy like Chavez to take off. This ball into left field. Rondell White charges it very, very hard, but he has no chance at throwing Chavez out, who did not stop as he rounded the bag. He just continued to get over to third base.
So the go-ahead run at third base now. Jermaine Dye is at first. Here's Durazo. It's the 15th hit now for the Athletics tonight. Glove to third, and Dye would not bite down at first base. Hit totals now combined at 29 hits between these two teams. Durazo has had a couple of hits in 6 at-bats. Was a kid that wasn't drafted out of high school or junior college. He went to junior college in Tucson, Arizona, went to play in Mexico, and then eventually his contract was purchased. And then made it to the big leagues without being drafted. There's set Bluff again to third, and Dye one more time gets back.
Durazo has only hit into a couple of double plays this year. Boy, but if you can get that ground ball now, get that double play, get you out of this inning.
Tigers have turned 4 tonight. Good stop by Pudge. I would imagine you get into the 13th, 14th, 15th inning, your mind starts to wander a little bit defensively, and Pudge has been razor sharp behind the plate. That was a pretty good block and a ball in the dirt. And in this situation, if one gets by the catcher, the A's go ahead. It's a long night for a guy to be squatting up and down for 15 innings of a ball game. Only 2 for 9 with men in scoring position for the A's. There's the go-ahead run. Chavez at third. Dye is at first. 1 out. One and 2 on Durazo. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Oh, a big strikeout for Patterson. 2 gone.
The last thing Durazo was looking for was a fastball, and he throws it up there, but it had a little tailing action away from him, and that's a huge swing. Durazo's a guy that usually puts the ball in play with 2 strikes.
Durazo upset with himself. 11 strikeouts now for the Tigers bullpen tonight.
Alan Trammell and Pudge Rodriguez with Patterson talking about how they're going to go after Hatteberg if they go after Hatteberg. But if they walk the bases loaded here to get to the right hand hitting Damian Miller, Patterson needs to throw some strikes. A lot of times managers will not put 4 balls up and walk you in this situation, but they're going to do it.
Well, they sure are. The reason being is, obviously, if you load the bases now, you put pressure on the pitcher to throw strikes because a walk forces the run in.
If you're Damian Miller in that on-deck circle, you know you're going to get some pretty good pitches to hit.
Here's ball 3, missing outside to Hatteberg. So the A's will have them loaded up here with 2 outs. And ball 4. Bases are loaded, and Damian Miller, hitless tonight, will get another opportunity. Meanwhile, Pudge will take this chance to walk out to the mound and have a talk with Patterson.
Also, Guillen came in. They want to make sure they're on the same page as far as the signs are concerned, and they may have even changed the signs. The fact that there's a runner at second base, a lot of times runners try to steal those signs.
So the bases are loaded. Chavez, Dye, and Hatteberg. 2 outs. And Miller now for the Athletics. 0-1 on Miller. Lifetime loaded over 300. He has 4 grand slams to his credit. Chavez scores. Dye rounding third. They're going to send him home. Throw to the plate. The slide. He's out. Inge cuts him down from right field. Jermaine Dye had an awkward slide at home plate, but the A's will take the lead. Instead of a 2-run edge, it's only a 1-run lead. Well, we go to the bottom of the 15th. The A's have taken the lead 5-4. Brandon Inge, however, made sure it remained a 1-run game instead of a 2-run spread.
Pudge hurt himself. I don't know what he did on this particular throw to the plate, but he must have twisted his left foot. There it is right there, kind of twisted as he lunged back. His left leg got caught underneath, and he limped off. Brandon held this ball. I don't know if he thought Dye was going to go or not, but he held it almost like daring him to go. Then he finally went, and then Pudge made the tag. You see that left foot right there? Right there.
That is the 5th outfield assist now for Brandon Inge, which ties him for the league lead. How do you like that?
And he's only been out there, what, 5 times?
Yeah, just a few. This is his first effort in right field. Well, the Tigers have some work to do now. They're down by a run, but they have 2, 3, and 4, and they will face a new pitcher. Jim Messier is in for the Athletics.
I thought Arthur Rhodes was their closer.
He is.
But I guess with Pudge Rodriguez in the on-deck circle, followed by Rondell White.
Bouncing ball hit to the shortstop. Crosby's throw is in time, and the tough night continues for Vigna.
Is the reason why Messier is in.
Well, here's Pudge now. The 2 teams had not scored since the 6th inning. The A's got a run in the 6th. And Oakland finally puts one up in the 15th. Couple of hits tonight for Pudge. Messier has really been struggling of late. The Tigers would like to get to him tonight. He's allowed 10 runs in his last 5 games. He started off very well, pitched well early on in April for the Athletics, but has since had trouble.
Pudge is hurt. Something's the matter with him.
This doesn't look right, does it?
Well, something's the matter. I don't know what it is. It's ankle, I think.
Here comes Kevin Rand to look at it. It was an awkward play. The tag out die.
And you know he's very, very tough. So if he wasn't in a lot of pain, he would not be in this situation right here. Take another look at it here.
And that's right after the play ended.
The hamstring. That's exactly what it is.
Is that what it is?
It's the hamstring. I think you see him trying to stretch it out.
Yeah, he is. You're absolutely right.
Trying to stretch his hamstring out.
Boy, how many hamstring injuries have we had already this year?
It's been a ton. He's trying to stretch it out, and he's being smart about this too. He doesn't want to put himself in a situation where, you know, he does something and he may be lost for a number of games. He's trying to battle through it. I mean, he's caught 15 innings today.
Exactly. It has been a long, long night for him. They're going to take him out.
Well, he could be cramping as well.
You hate to see it, Rod, but you're absolutely right. The rest of the season is much more important than one game.
Well, if you're going to err on any side whatsoever with Pudge or any of your guys, you want to make sure you err on the side of caution. But I'm sure they'll go in and get some ice on it and stretch it out and see what's going on.
Another angle, and you can see twisting his body around. He immediately felt, there it is, the hamstring. Tug a little bit. So Pudge is done, and he'll head back to the clubhouse. An unfortunate sight for the Tigers, and now Eric Munson will take over this at bat with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. And Munson, after sitting for 15 innings tonight, now has to come in and try and get something started.
Well, he should get a pretty good fastball to hit right here. On Munson. Taking all the way down the middle it comes. 3-1. See what Eric gets here on 3-1. Fouled it away. Came in with a fastball, and Munson spoils it back in the seats. 3-2 now. In a 1-run game in the 15th inning, Messier against Munson. Got
out of that one. Engulfed it foul. Bouncing ball hit to the first baseman. Hannenberg has it, and Messier has recorded the first 2 outs of the inning. So with 2 away against a pitcher that has been struggling of late, Rondell White will stand in. One swing can tie it. Low and outside, 1-0. Now on Rondell. A's went ahead at the top of the 15th inning, an RBI single off the bat of Miller. His first hit of the night that broke the 4-4 tie. Bouncing ball foul at third base, and now Rondell down to the count 1-2. Regardless of how this one ends up, both managers have to be ecstatic with what their bullpens have done tonight. I am hopeful that Rondell can keep it going here. Up high, 2-2 on White. Jim Messier ends a ball game that takes 4 hours and 39 minutes to play in 15 innings. 5-4 in favor of the Oakland Athletics. A tough loss for the Tigers tonight. Final score 5-4. We're not done yet. Let's go to the Fox Sports Net studios and join Mickey York for the Detroit Sports Report.